suggest.
Hello, PUBG esports fans. In 2026, PUBG esports returns with a more structured, year-long flow. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're bringing more investment and more opportunities, and this expansion goes beyond tournament operations into the game experience as well. Esports is coming closer than ever. With a competition structure open to everyone who plays PUBG, a renewed pick'em experience, the launch of an esports pass, and stronger alignment with ranked, we're building a season that strengthens the link between playing PUBG and watching PUBG esports. For fans, this means more matches, more content, and more season-long storylines to follow. For teams and players, it means more chances to compete, along with increased prize pools and stronger support. Today, we'll walk you through how the 2026 season connects and expands, and what's new this year. The 2026 season is built as a pyramid structure, open from the very bottom. Anyone can take the first step, and every stage leads toward the ultimate destination, PGC. Scrims and Cups are the first step on that path, open to everyone who plays PUBG, from brand new teams and rising talents to top-ranked competitors with pro ambitions. Scrims and Cups are open to all passionate players. Strong results in Scrims and Cups can lead to the regional series, and beyond that, to global events, PGS, and ultimately the PGC stage. The 2026 season keeps rolling with hardly a break from March through the end of the year. With events spread across the year, the season plays out as one connected, year-long race. Fans will have more events and more content to enjoy, and teams will stay in constant competition as the season progresses. At the center of that race is PGS. Now, let's take a closer look at what's changed in PGS for 2026. PGS will be played in a circuit format. Each circuit is made up of Series 1, Series 2, Series Final. And in the Series Final, which is the circuit final, teams can earn even more PGS points. Across the year, there will be 4 circuits and 12 total PGS events. Here's the key difference in 2026. Results carry forward. What happens in Series 1 shapes the flow of Series 2, and that momentum carries into the Series Final. Teams battle each week to create their next opportunity, while fans follow a 3-week storyline across the circuit. Each circuit features 24 teams, 12 global partner teams, and 12 regional teams. In the first half of the year, regional teams will be selected through an invitational format, and in the second half, selection will be based on regional series performance. 2026 season ultimately leads to PGC. There are 2 paths to qualification: PGS points, earned through PGS, and PGC points, earned through regional series performance. So even teams that don't compete in PGS still have a way in. During the season, global events that PUBG esports fans have loved return with even more excitement. In particular, EWC reflects first-half performance, reinforcing that results from scrims, cups, and the regional series can lead to global opportunities. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're strengthening both prize pools and team support in 2026. First, the total prize pool increases by $1 million compared to last year, with more prize money available throughout the season. And the impact isn't limited to the top teams. At the cup level, the total prize pool will be approximately $130,000, designed to give new teams and challengers meaningful momentum early on, and a real reason to keep climbing. In addition, the Global Partner Team (GPT) program expands to 12 teams in 2026, supported by $1 million in team funding to help teams stay competitive and sustain their operations throughout the season. By expanding the foundation through partner team support and increased prize funding, we aim to create an environment where more teams can continue competing and challenging themselves throughout the season. In 2026, the connection between playing PUBG Battlegrounds and watching PUBG esports becomes even stronger. Throughout the season, the following in-game item and esports updates are planned. The Pick'em Challenge, familiar to many esports fans, will be refreshed for 2026, returning in a new and more engaging Fantasy League format. In addition, PNC 2026 and PGC 2026 items will be obtainable through event passes. We look forward to sharing more details soon. Finally, we will prioritize alignment between ranked and the esports competitive environment. Whenever possible, post-patch updates will be applied to official events quickly, keeping the played game and the watched game closely aligned. In 2026, PUBG Esports opens the door wider than ever, so anyone who plays PUBG can take part, challenge themselves, and enjoy the season. Thank you for your continued interest and support throughout the year. Through every change, we will continue listening to your feedback and working to improve our experience. For the latest updates, please follow the official PUBG Esports channels. See you soon.
Demolition.
Hello, PUBG esports fans. In 2026, PUBG esports returns with a more structured, year-long flow. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're bringing more investment and more opportunities, and this expansion goes beyond tournament operations into the game experience as well. Esports is coming closer than ever. With a competition structure open to everyone who plays PUBG, a renewed pick'em experience, the launch of an esports pass, and stronger alignment with ranked, we're building a season that strengthens the link between playing PUBG and watching PUBG esports. For fans, this means more matches, more content, and more season-long storylines to follow. For teams and players, it means more chances to compete, along with increased prize pools and stronger support. Today, we'll walk you through how the 2026 season connects and expands, and what's new this year. The 2026 season is built as a pyramid structure, open from the very bottom. Anyone can take the first step, and every stage leads toward the ultimate destination, PGC. Scrims and Cups are the first step on that path, open to everyone who plays PUBG, from brand new teams and rising talents to top-ranked competitors with pro ambitions. Scrims and Cups are open to all passionate players. Strong results in Scrims and Cups can lead to the regional series, and beyond that, to global events, PGS, and ultimately the PGC stage. The 2026 season keeps rolling with hardly a break from March through the end of the year. With events spread across the year, the season plays out as one connected, year-long race. Fans will have more events and more content to enjoy, and teams will stay in constant competition as the season progresses. At the center of that race is PGS. Now, let's take a closer look at what's changed in PGS for 2026. PGS will be played in a circuit format. Each circuit is made up of Series 1, Series 2, Series Final. And in the Series Final, which is the circuit final, teams can earn even more PGS points. Across the year, there will be 4 circuits and 12 total PGS events. Here's the key difference in 2026. Results carry forward. What happens in Series 1 shapes the flow of Series 2, and that momentum carries into the Series Final. Teams battle each week to create their next opportunity, while fans follow a 3-week storyline across the circuit. Each circuit features 24 teams, 12 global partner teams, and 12 regional teams. In the first half of the year, regional teams will be selected through an invitational format, and in the second half, selection will be based on regional series performance. 2026 season ultimately leads to PGC. There are 2 paths to qualification: PGS points, earned through PGS, and PGC points, earned through regional series performance. So even teams that don't compete in PGS still have a way in. During the season, global events that PUBG esports fans have loved return with even more excitement. In particular, EWC reflects first-half performance, reinforcing that results from scrims, cups, and the regional series can lead to global opportunities. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're strengthening both prize pools and team support in 2026. First, the total prize pool increases by $1 million compared to last year, with more prize money available throughout the season. And the impact isn't limited to the top teams. At the cup level, the total prize pool will be approximately $130,000, designed to give new teams and challengers meaningful momentum early on, and a real reason to keep climbing. In addition, the Global Partner Team (GPT) program expands to 12 teams in 2026, supported by $1 million in team funding to help teams stay competitive and sustain their operations throughout the season. By expanding the foundation through partner team support and increased prize funding, we aim to create an environment where more teams can continue competing and challenging themselves throughout the season. In 2026, the connection between playing PUBG Battlegrounds and watching PUBG esports becomes even stronger. Throughout the season, the following in-game item and esports updates are planned. The Pick'em Challenge, familiar to many esports fans, will be refreshed for 2026. returning in a new and more engaging Fantasy League format. In addition, PNC 2026 and PGC 2026 items will be obtainable through event passes. We look forward to sharing more details soon. Finally, we will prioritize alignment between ranked and the esports competitive environment. Whenever possible, post-patch updates will be applied to official events quickly, keeping the played game and the watched game closely aligned. In 2026, PUBG Esports opens the door wider than ever, so anyone who plays PUBG can take part, challenge themselves, and enjoy the season. Thank you for your continued interest and support throughout the year. Through every change, we will continue listening to your feedback and working to improve our experience. For the latest updates, please follow the official PUBG Esports channels. See you soon.
goes on. It goes on. It goes on. It goes on. Switch it up, I'm in my reverie, solo in my energy, sensing all your jealousy, take it. I don't care enough, I let it be, nothing off my memories. If I ever hit it, I'ma do my thing. Fear of missing out is scared of me. Where the fuck you been? Always gotta keep them wondering. What's the reason in front end? It look better on paper, I look better in person. It all works in my favor. It goes on, 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 on. Switch it up, I'm in my reverie, solo in my energy, sensing all your jealousy, take it. I don't care enough, I let it be, nothing off my memories. If I ever hit it, I'ma do my thing. Fear of missing out is scared of me. Where the fuck you been? Always gotta keep them wondering. What's the reason in front end? It look better on paper, I look better in person. It all works in my favor. It goes on, 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 on,
There we go. Let's go! PUBG time! God, I've been invaded. PUBG Mobile's getting involved though, but I've been blessed to have the amazing Blank jump in though. He's taken over the channel. We want to get involved because it's PC Spring and we're not in our final stages before actually get to kick things off on the weekend, but I can't say too much about that. But how are you? Welcome in, bro.
I'm good, yeah. Thank you so much, dude. Happy to be here. It's good. It's fun. I'm not invaded. I'm not taking over the channel. You know, Mark Powers, he's maintaining the power. He's maintaining the power here on the channel, right? I'm just a step in. I'm just stepping for the time being. Take a look at some of these scrims. I'm excited, dude. I'm very excited.
I'm excited. I've been keeping an eye on things. Even James in chat. What up, James? We're not delayed, mate. GGGs. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, one, to have you here, but two, more importantly, we've got PEC, and this is I suppose, the first stance this year. This is where we've had some teams get ready. They're trying to qualify for PEC Spring. There's a whole raft from EWC. Obviously, the first couple of events are invited only. So I suppose for these players, this is all about actually who can get on the board first, and I think they've got to potentially set the standard quite early.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot of players here already, and I mean, just looking at the PEC qualification format, you can get in quite easily off the back of that, and there's a lot of spots that are open. So there's a lot more teams you might think coming through from even these scrims into whatever happens in the future to get in towards that PEC. So it is interesting. It is interesting. And I think that overall, I think right now is a good litmus test, which is why I do think that if you look at the results, people are taking this quite seriously.
Yeah, and this is the key thing. We lost a lot of teams, we lost a lot of opportunity, but there is huge amounts of opportunity for some of these teams remaining. And we've got best of 5 though, and we are going to be following group number A today, just to kind of keep with that level of consistency as we will work our way through. But it is time to get to the grassy pasture. It's going to be a wrangle. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a few. Here we go. You're on. I'm on. Here we go. It's match number 1 though. Flight path from Wrangle. And as I said before, we are following group number A. As the flight path though will be coming in from this sort of east side, cross towards a northwest.
I love that you're able to just instantly figure that out just from the small mini map. You're working this on the fly. I like that. I like that.
It's more of the case that I just clocked that I could see military at the bottom. That was it. I'm not going to give away the trade secrets too much, but there was something to do with that military island at the bottom. That was all, mate. No special powers here. But arguably, this flight path is going to be good for most of these teams because the drop zone to spots where they're going to go, we're not going to see too much of a hot drop. We might see some early fighting for some cars, but most of these teams are going to spread out.
Yeah, it's pretty central, you know, east to west, across the middle of the map. It's probably one of the easiest lane pass that I've seen recently. I mean, you do see a lot of those nasty ones that head down towards and just coast over the top of Sosnovka. Those are tough to play around with. But I think this is one of the easiest and most smooth steps into the water out of any PUBG game I've seen in quite a while.
Good. Oh, I'll say that. There's not going to be much early fighting, but there is. Jogo Benito will get Skittles down. That's a big loss for them. Nolly will get the confirmation, so they will spread out towards their hot drop. And as I said before, it's about trying to find those vehicles. It's going to be key for some of these. Look, obviously guys and girls that have come in, especially from last year, and kind of getting up to speed now with PUBG esports for 2026. It is one of the biggest things for me is we're not playing 6 rounds anymore. We're playing 5, so every round is actually critical because we don't be losing some points. We've got a quick flash at the zone though. It is very much on that west side of the map, and there is huge amounts of water. So these teams are going to have to get these vehicles, and they're going to have to shift in quick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if moving through to TPP as well, the vehicle's even more important because late game, if you get like a field finish, you desperately want someone like a UAS that you can explode later on. And you got some cover off the back of it, which is, you know, it's not as great as a foldable shield because you can put that bad boy away and pick it back up again and redeploy it elsewhere. But, you know, in a pinch, that can sometimes be the final little piece of the puzzle to get things done.
Well, it's all about the piece of the puzzle. We'll talk about a piece of the puzzle, and I get to have a little pun about my website because I've been bloody getting a lot of grey hair for it. I've been really interested to see some of these teams come through. Now, most of these names that you're seeing this evening are kind of the as expected names and the players that we are going to expect. But there are some starting to sneak through, which I feel like actually are going to bring something new to the table. Jogo Benito done okay last year. They were kind of this mid-pack team, blank, but they have an opportunity. You mentioned it. There's a great way for teams to get involved. There's a great way for them to kind of get themselves potentially on the main stage, and a team like Jogo Benito, they're going to potentially lap up this type of opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, there's even like these wild card qualification spots coming through. I mean, I've viewed and perused in the Wikipedia like I have. I mean, you get through to weekly cups later on. I think it's the 4th and the 5th one. If you're able to come first in either of those, you get yourself a qualification spot for that. So might just get some wild cards in there. You never know. You never know when it comes down to it. But definitely about that consistency at the start. That's sort of that joker that's thrown in right at the end of the card pack. But right now, yeah, consistency is good. And I think that, you know, when I was going through these teams with a couple of friends of mine, shout out Close, you know, there was a lot of talk about the fact that there is quite a lot of these mid-pack teams you talk about, like Jogo Bonito, who do have a chance, you know, maybe not always performed yet on a great international stage, but have done fairly well throughout their career.
Yep. This is what the interesting point going to be. They're going to start working their way now towards the west. They do have this Hello Kitty in front of them. Just on the outside of Boatyard. Again, actually, I kind of enjoy, especially from a drop spot, because if you do get yourself in a fight, you've got that recall system here that you can benefit from, should we say. And for those that are just jumping into the stream, welcome in. We are on match number 1. This is Group A versus Group B.
That's a nice lineup there. I mean, you might want to go for something here. You pop them out right now.
Got to get that knocked out.
Vehicle. Maybe grab the back guy. This makes sense. This makes sense. You want something though from this.
I don't know. I quite like
through.
I like this play, right? He snuck his way in. They've got to take the shots now. He saw the other player. Now comes the shots. Now he finds another one. They get the swap over as well. He's finding himself potentially on 3. Early engagement, though. But can he get himself to safety? Jogo Bonito, they need the reinforcements, and they are closing in. And for Hello Kitty, well, this cat has got some claws, and it's Jogo Bonito eager to get themselves clear of Boatyard.
Mason Mihara did go down, sadly. I think that's from a shot from the side there. It's actually not. Nod runs over.
No, Nod run him over. He got too
Nice.
excited.
Awkward. All right. Yeah, okay. For Hello Kitty, it's very much goodbye Kitty at this point in time. Good shots from Jabulu. And that will be yourself almost a full squad wipe there. I think that is the majority of them, right?
Liz comes in straight up. PMA taking the opportunity now. Trying to take on his compound. Team Nemesis, one of the, I suppose, the recognised names, should we say, in the lobby. A super stacked lineup of all stars, the likes of Diffix, etc. I'm going to try and make them instead. We'll go out towards upstairs. Hero going to look, try and hear that grenade as he can hear the footsteps climbing towards that first floor. Nade will go through, doesn't quite get the connection. Genex, well, he's on the outside edge, so he's got a really good read on this one. He's going to be able to see if these players want to jump out the compound and try and wrap their way around.
I mean, this is a tough one. I mean, getting that nade for sure, but you don't really get too much sight lines presenting off the back of that for the time being.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's the missus. She just messaged
Hello?
me. Sorry.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Go, get rid of it. Get out of here, missus. We're casting. Get out.
Dear me. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, getting that nade is fine, but now you're sort of stuck around box at the moment. Bit rough.
Difficult. I'm gonna have to try and figure out. I think Sosadi understands someone's out towards his left. He can hear the movement. Smoke will come out. That's going to try and deny not just sound cues, but also the opportunity to kind of peek out the window. So he's going to go for that move. Now, don't forget, if he wants to come out this window, he's got the left peek. It's not going to be the best peek, but he takes advantage. Miss, your voice will fall down. And lucky enough for them, Jogo Bonito still getting involved. Gets the player hanging out on the car. And actually, arguably, he's going to save Sosadi.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this play just felt kind of awkward, right? Where you just sat waiting for something to happen here. But people are going to be rotating through this area quite a lot, especially the western Soku you talked about earlier. This is a prime location for teams to move through. There's the hilltops over towards the northern side. Yeah, I don't want to be sat around here. And it's kind of ruined both these teams' games in the process.
Oh, that's an early death as well. Here, maybe we'll go down. Again, one of the games are out. You've got to be inside this compound. Teams are taking advantage of this, though. Possessively seeing the kill feed and these players going down. Myth-Off crashing, but also we see the opportunity still from Jogo Bonito. Long distance out. The Myth-Off's there. Jogo Bonito closing in as well. These teams are eager to get rid of Team Nemesis.
Fantastic pickup on the backside buildings there from Jogo Bonito as well. The Team Nemesis trying to coalesce on the rest of their squad mates to get them back up in position. I think Jogo Bonito takes an immediate good stand there. There is a nice shot back there from Diffx over towards them. A little bit aggressive, but only a knock goes through. So I think Jogo Bonito might be able to pick themselves up, if not for the fact there wasn't 5 other teams around this locale.
Hold on, everyone. Stop the clock. We are 8 minutes in and Jogo Bonito on 8 kills, people. This is what you talk about. Someone is eager to get qualified, though. The Myth-Off Sparta will get one of the confirmations done, so they'll put a point on the board, but Nemesis now down to their final player. Melbourne, though, gets the shots through the corridor. He's not too far away, but he's unable to get the flush. Well, just in the moment, but he gets an extra couple of bullets in the... big stab will come through, and that is Team Nemesis. They fall 8 minutes fading the clock. That's a huge team out the lobby.
Yeah, Saving Private Lieutenant Nod now on the side. He's both things at the same time. It can be. Allow it. I think Mason Mihara last left alive now for Jogo Bonito. But regardless, 9 kills, that's already a decent game off the back of that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Even if they drop out now, like arguably their point average, even after game number 1, they're going to be at one of the top because the teams are going out with less bodies in the clock. Jogo Bonito, 1 more kill, make it double digits and say good night to game number 1.
AUG in hand. This is a nasty little position as well, playing on the stairs with the smokes as well. Primes him for at least 1 knock, and if you can get the full spray in, maybe he gets the flush, but doesn't feel like any of the fish are biting downstairs on this setup.
Trying to figure out exactly where he is. That grenade is going to be pinpoint perfect. He's laying down, but I think he's going to get away with just. He does. He gets that ability, laying down just about, looking into the death. He's eager, as you say. 1 more point. That would be nice. Pops out as a shield, hits the flash, trying to stop that. Sparta might get a read. More importantly, Bad Boy, well, he's definitely going to be hearing exactly where he is because he's making a lot of move at the moment from the grenades, and more importantly, all of the movement.
Not a terrible nade sent down the stairs. Flashbang going to be sent upwards. Has the hide behind the deployable shield as well, but it's a 3-man push. Very tough for him to make work. Jumps out the window, but there's a nice off angle from Watchtower. Let's talk Bonito go down with 9 kills. I think it's still a good run though. Still a good run though, Mark.
Take it, yeah, 100%. You take it. 9 kills, game number 1, qualifying. Like, put the fear of God into the rest of these teams here. Tilted leaderboard Warriors, well, they did rotate their way all the way across towards the west now. As you can see from that map feed, we have sort of collapsed our way in. We still hold on to a huge amount of water out by Georgia Pool in that northwest corner. But I think a lot of teams will be looking at this going, do you know what? We might expect it to play back down to the south. They've got to be careful. Maybe they go for a bit more of a split towards the sort of the southern part of George. I'm so surprised. We're only just about seeing one of these teams now climb Everest.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, most people move to the top there. It's a huge fight taking place. So many teams were so willing to pick up all of the kills that could have come through that area as well. So you didn't really want to let that one just go through, did you? Yeah, picking up Everest now, not a bad idea. There is that funnel point as you go through to North George as well, but there's way more buildings, way more cover to play around on that south side, so try and set yourself up early now.
Joe will go for a 2-2 split. Taking on that kind of little mini medical center and that sort of south side of George. We've got hospital being taken out though by no tag team. So they will keep an eye on that one. Difficult compound to play out of. Easy to defend, especially in the late game. If it plays outside, difficult to kind of get out the fence, and you see teams kind of position themselves up to stop the exit. Teams taking a lot of ground. But hey, we've got 13 teams left, 52 players, and we just hit phase 2.
And we're chunking through players pretty quickly at the moment. There's just a lot of aggressive rotations coming through early in the game, Mark, which I was very surprised by. And again, if you want to get towards this position, there was always going to be that funnel point on the west of, towards the east of George, as teams move through. It's just that weird wrap between down towards the south side of Everest. Anyway, not a lot of people want to do it because you get that 2-2 split that's set up there already between Ace as well as UST. Like you do not want to be wrapping through that field. So most players opted to go north side, which turned into a bloodbath.
Yeah. About bloodbath though, Kitty gets the opportunity to get the recall chips back in, so they'll be back up to a 4. Lucky enough for them, the Jogo Bonito team are out, so there won't be any vengeance coming back their way. But with so much of the town in for North or South George, they're able the option for North or South, but they're able to get relooted. Everest looking to be conquered as well. Just let you guys know there is 5 maps today, and a big thank you to PUBG Esports and the TO team that has produced the clean feed for us. They are the wonderful guys and girls behind the camera. So again, just big shout out to them because they're making it possible that we get an opportunity to look in, especially on this early stage. This is my worry though. That's my worry about not being broke. It's a concern with Everest.
Roll it back.
Everest though, on the whole, at the moment. Going to Esports, well, they're taking this kind of west side. I think they're standing any idea there's a team up here as well. But the way they kind of transition their body, they're fully exposed. We're not broke. Want to take a look at this one, but the zone shifted away. We can see from the bottom right map though that they're now not in, so they have to get pedal to the middle as they will start charging down. Go Next Esports.
You got to go through here. I mean, it's a tough push as well. As soon as you breach this little area here, nades become a massive issue for you. And you can set up some nasty smokes coming through from this side as well, where it's impossible to push. Played the low side straight towards the northern portion of South George. Apartments, play that.
What's the sound, please? Let me double check. Tell me the sound.
Yeah, I think we were hearing that multiple fights, basically. I'm not sure it's your fault.
I think it is. Second. I'm not in control of what's coming through. So is James playing today, guys? We're not going to play the whole evening. We have five games with them, and obviously as we go through, we'll see the other half of the groups, and therefore we will see people like James that will play.
We'll get to him.
Sounds all right for you, though, right? You can hear the game sound fine.
No. I mean, like, I'll be honest. I have been hearing basically 18 fights at the same time. Yeah, that's all right. I'm used to that. Yeah. We've been having a good time.
Why is the game sounds? Why? I've got an
Eternal question.
I've got an Bear with me, people. Fix on the fly is the most important thing. And I will do this. I will do this. Then I will do that. That's slightly change. That gets turned off. I should figure out. There's no sound for you guys.
It's like we can hear what's on screen, but we can also hear something else on a different screen. Oh, that's off now.
Good.
No, that's just off.
On for you.
Yeah.
Sounds good. The sound is good. Sound is fixed. Okay, we've got game
good.
sound now. Right, you got game sounds? Question?
Yeah, this sounds nice. Yeah, I like this.
Okay,
Big
so
fan.
I think I fixed something. I'm going to be honest with the chat. I have no idea what I did. I clicked a few buttons and some stuff happened, and I think we now got the sound.
Yeah, this is great.
Okay, cool. We're winning. I think we're winning in life. I can cover it. Cool, let's get back into things. So going next esports, though, do get the charge over the top. And unfortunately, for USD, Ultras might not be able to hold on. Very difficult area to hold, though, as we keep the cars alive. But with the zone shift coming back this way, they've not got much more space to hold on.
I mean, they wrapped down here and they were getting shot by like 3 different teams, wanting to rock up directly on the other side of this valley. They do have 1 player left remaining who might be able to get a bit of redemption for the squad, but still sort of unlikely. He is pinched in right now. Might be more about survival for him going forward. That is a rough spot to end up, Mark, by the way. It just feels like delaying the inevitable going on over there.
That. Well, attack have to get moving themselves as they will have to again reposition the hospital. I like that actually Rafa has tried to sort of try and come out of here, and as I said before, this is an area that you do get stuck, you get pinned down, especially these teams sort of encroach from this south and more to the east side. So I like what they've done. They're trying to get some kills, they're trying to keep people at bay, but more importantly, they're giving themselves options to exit here if and when the zone might leave.
I always say like the hospital's kind of covered by like a crown of land, right, where it dips upwards, so you sort of have to flex out a little bit, especially in TPP where you get a little bit of that advantage looking over the top of the hills. But it does leave you out in the open sometimes. You have nice little flick there. Pulls out the SLR, we'll make it happen. All right, lovely stuff.
Got information on the board, point underway. You'll see we've got to this one with 1. We saw away from the placement points. There's around 12 players, well, 12 teams, 44 players left. Grenade comes over the top, doesn't quite get the connection either. Goes for long distance now. Now he's trying to get the connection. Good spray, but no, doesn't quite get it. But he has a nade in his back pocket. Let's see if he can post it to perfection. It goes underneath. He does.
Oh,
There's 1 to 3, and now he finds himself having not a bad game.
Yeah, ultra south stuckers. I mean, this guy was stuck for a while, but came out on top with 3 kills off the back of that one. And like we said, that was delaying the inevitable there, 100% for the squad coming through from the south. But I did not think it'd be one dude who'd be taking him out.
No. Right. Good news is I fixed the games up for everyone, but I've lost the games up. But I can see you guys have still got games up. I can work on it. We're fine. We're fine.
All right.
Anyway, we've gone back towards South George. We are giving up the water now, and this one, these teams are going to have to try and work their way out. Again, it's going to be a bit of a standoff now, so expect we're going to have quite a few teams still remaining here. 11 teams, 41 players up. We're going to lose some of the teams on the outside edge, as I'd expect more of an urban style ending if we do continue to see it sort of play that way. We'll know every 15 seconds. Let's go next. Now looking to try and move in towards UST's position. We'll go for the launch. Let's get the grenade. There goes the flash. Looking for the second one as well. So continue to focus on the ridge. Now he gets 6 players. He's got the height advantage, and that is going to be in. And we'll finish it off though. UST actually from a bad place. They end up with 3 points. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, pretty bold move though to go and loot the cars. Covered in smoke after he knows his team went down. All the lads on the south side. You know, you got to get some more smokes, you got to get some more grenades, you want to make it further. So I respect the effort on that one. You'd feel like it was going to come to a close. Anyway, this is a fast wrap though, heading straight over. They get the majority of players in the park. This is great news.
Yeah, early rotation takes it. No one ready to sort of stop. They lose one on the way in, but that is about it. Comes a drop. This is coming from the flare, so we'll be happy with that. Look what's in the MG. That's going to be a very dangerous gun, especially in the urban style ending. Zone is working its way down. The question is, can they get to it? That's what's going to cause them some problems with the elevation. Again, I expect it to slow down slightly here. Again, just outside the placement points. We've still got a high number of bodies here, but we're still cover. I can't see too much happening. It's going to be people fighting for positions like this.
A lot of the squads on the south side are in a really precarious spot right now. Getting across this road is the main thing. That move that we just saw earlier, I think it was from Jogo Bonito. Sorry, not Jogo Bonito. I think it was UHD. Where did you get across? Yeah, that's the one. Apologize. He got across the road there. That's a fantastic maneuver. Love to see that. Getting straight into that building there is wonderful because it eliminates a lot of this action that was going to happen on the south side. And the fact that they lose one player for it, in my opinion, that's a mega result.
It is a mega result at the moment. Back into the hospital though. We'll get the nade. There goes a blue zone. Follow up. Gets the peak. He's got the right peak. He has the right angle. He finds one. The blue zone is going to be punishing, but he's 14 HP. He has to try and find some kind of safety where he can. Lay down. He knows he's in hot pursuit, but he's going to have an opportunity now. Here's him backing away with another smoke. An opportunity now just to sort of back away a little bit more and put some of those meds on.
I mean, this is the survival plan right now for O'Connell. Very unlikely getting out of this one, but a couple more kills would be lovely in terms of the points gain for the team. In the meantime, a lot of it on the north side is just trying to hit some heads, right? Pull off some of the helmets during this little engagement. So usually more that reduce some resources, but that was Justice on the roadside coming through from Justice from the miss off. Fantastic shots. Getting the double there. Christ.
Been interesting actually watching Justice. He's the IGL for the team, so for TMO, the Myth-Off are kind of they pieced together a team, then safely left him, but obviously we saw recently that he got signed up. He's going to NA, he's been playing with the Copenhagen Wolves, so obviously they had to fill a spot. Milky Way obviously now filled that spot, but Justice is getting together. The IGL for that team is good. I'm glad to see this team, but again, like I said with Jogo Bonito, TMO are a team that also have been kind of on the cusp of making themselves into greatness, finding themselves at regionals, but have always just fallen short. I like the work effort they're putting this year. I think they're a team that we're also going to see potentially cross that line.
Yeah, no, that's a nice play from Mifo. I love the building they've got right now. That compound with the surrounding walls is actually unreal towards the late game. If they get an Eastern shift on this one, it could be a decent game. Because I mean, playing apartments on the north side, not terrible. It's just a lot of space to try and cover on. And eventually they're going to have to coalesce, at which point you might get a couple of snakes coming through on the western apartments. And it does head east here. So the Myth-Off, they've got a great chance in this match now. They just got to make sure they watch their backs.
See if they can watch the backs now. NXT Esports looking to try and get a little bit of higher ground, just enough to peekaboo over the top before they have to sort of send their way over. They're not going to make the attempts now just to work their way down towards the hard cover. And again, it has gone back towards South Georgia. No real open space on this south side. These teams that have gambled, that are waiting. One of them is Go Next Esports. They have a limited amount of time. I think that's maybe why they're looking to try and get this final player out. If they get O'Connor out, it means they get the double, they get the point. Obviously, they find themselves in the placements as well.
Yeah, he broke his knee, so
He's done. He's cooked.
Yeah. Damn, that's rough. Both ankles gone and not a single kill to be found.
No extra points there, unfortunately. Gone. Well, they're on the other side of the zone. They're going to work their way in. Hello Kitties, we saw they had the recall. This is going to go get for the nade. Long throw. The overarm's going to fall just a bit short. He's going to try and launch the second one. A bit less of a cook on this one. Hoping maybe for it to roll, but he needs to clear that wall. Doesn't quite get it. Only a bit of splash damage. Not much else there.
Yeah, this is what I talked about earlier as well. It's hard to hold all of them, so you do get players like Pong coming through on that western side, managed to work their way in. That's going to take a lot of attention now. Massive glut of players on the western side. Goodness me, what just happened?
Bitcoin telling us that they're still relevant out there. He's got that left peak grenade, does the damage though. Now he makes the push. You're going to try and get these confirmations. 4 to 5, 5 to 6 potentially, if he can swing his way around. TLW, well, they're going to try and get that defensive role, but there's enough cover and actually comes in the arms, or the lower arms of the rest of the team. He knew exactly where to post that nade, but unable to do so.
The Mythov actually managed to grab Mega Central off the back of this. They shifted out from that eastern side. I don't mind this at all, especially with the circles landing now. He didn't go fully over towards the east, so picking this up after they get a couple of kills off the back of this one. That's lovely. And it's only 2 positions to hold. And I think that the windows from both sides do cover both buildings fairly well here. So I do think the Mythov could have a fairly good chance in this game.
See what they can do from it. In our centre, the zone does shift back their way, so they have all the opportunities. Arguably, we'll start looking at this going, it's TMO's game now to lose with that position, but have they got the cover? Can they pick up the additional kills? Because teams, especially on that north side, Kitty, need to work their way in. And on the west, well, you might have the MG in hand with VH, but you've got, unfortunately, open terrain to conquer. They've got 2 less places, but they've got to think about the late game. They get themselves in here. Yeah, it's phase number 7, but this should go to the wire. We're going to see the dot, and the dot is right on top of TMO.
I mean, the thing is, you can't even, it's really unplayable outside of the road side too. So you're looking at all these buildings on the north here. Over the top side, it's a quick clean up from Hello Kitty, and they will be moving through. This is the team that took a hell of a lot of damage early on in the game over towards Boatyard. Now they managed to come back off this one towards that northern side. I think they played this fairly well, you know, for a game that looked fairly doomed at the start. Yeah,
100%. You're right. And look, there's a bit of luck there, right? Because they've had a city in that they could land. They could use the recall, get themselves in the city. Look, no judgment. They've got some shotguns, all right? There's no judgment, but they found some gear. At least they're not sitting in the middle of the field hiding in the bush. They're actually going to be able to fight, at least for a chance to get into this later game.
I think right now for the Mythov, your main worry is losing the player early, right? So I think that honestly for them, it's less about fighting early right now and waiting towards that end game. You're going to give up on a couple of kills there, but say you lose one guy on the rooftop, you try to go for a res, you get pushed by the team on the south. It's all over. So they have to play the patient game now. It's up to the teams around them to really make these big moves. I think you are right that Hello Kitty is in the worst danger right now. Look at that open ground they have to cross, and TMO should have sightlines that way too, as well as the team over on the eastern side. So I think overall for Hello Kitty, this is probably the team that's going to be taking first innings for all these squads towards the late game.
I'm with you. Difficult. They've got obviously 2 at TMO watching him. They've got Go Next. They've got Max in that top right corner. We can now see. He's, again, their only priority those guys have got now is to stop this team getting him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have perfect highlights to make it happen as well. Plus, these are some pretty free kills for them too. They don't want to hand them off to TMO. As they make their way out. Depends if Hello Kitty just let themselves go down. You are right, though. They are struggling on the loot.
That's a hard shift again.
The M24 there on a circle like this, don't feel good.
Well, look, the dot's going to be just on the outside, like kind of pizza slice now. So go next. They're going to be looking to try and maybe move into that corner when they can. I think there's a big conversation, as you said, around Hello Kitty. Who's going to be able to get the kill? Who's going to be able to try and maybe get the flush and get the point? Because you can get the knock, but unless you get the conversion, it doesn't mean anything else. Max is mostly the best spot here. TMO want to get an opportunity. VH going down, but TMO needs to now fight on multiple fronts. Skittles want to get involved. That's going to be a huge blue zone. Oh, it unfortunately, it's the smallest of metal poles, and he bounces it away. He could have potentially got himself a free kill and maybe even a confirm, but it's not to be.
Yeah, that would have been a hell of a crunch with that blue zone as well. Damn, that is so unfortunate. Geometry just not working in this game at all. They sent out here coming through from Hello Kitty, but then having none of it right now. They do actually find one shot over towards Sanino from Hello Kitty. Good AEG shot coming through. I mean, Go Next is just waiting like vultures on the sidelines at the moment, but VH is actually at the worst time out of all of this.
Yeah, they've misjudged you. They tried to take a fight, obviously, with TMO. Then they've got a side swipe. Max going to stand up because he's going to have the opportunity. It's about getting the flushes if he can. Get that pedicure and get a point on the board. There's 1, 2, and done. It's been finished off. Hello Kitty unable to go. Skittles going to apply the pressure here. Now for VH, they have to try and wrap their way out, and they are going to check out of game number 1. Top 4 we go. 4 versus 4 versus 3 versus a wonderful duo that's under pressure. Skittles looking to try and close this one out.
I mean, he's struggling upstairs at the moment. I mean, Skittles trying to find their way in. I mean, it's one player. They just want to give him the 1v1. And this is a fairly easy approach for them on this side. It's very nadeable too if they wanted to go for that. On the side, flashbang down the stairs. They don't even want any of it. They're just going to move out further towards the eastern side, knowing that he's going to have to push towards them off the back of this final circle. TMO, though, they played their cards right. But you're right. This little pizza slice on the side, that's going to be the big thing that a lot of teams are going to look at, especially for Go Next going forward. But it's very nadeable. If the guys on TMO have any blue zone grenades, that could be the decider towards this late game.
Yep. Doritos are going out, so we are seeing Skittles looking for that option, the exit plan. They know they've got a player behind them. I mean, you get to see how much TMO have actually got when it comes down to utility. Looks like an exchange. Skittles get one, but also TMO get the other, so both will fall down. Unable now to get the rest. Huge nade comes over. Oh my god! He gets the damage, but he gets it with York. Max goes down. UHD will also fall, and Skittles down to a final player, but 9 kills.
What an insane nade as he tried to wrap back. TMO resident. Sadly, can't jump back the rest of his team. Managed to get just through the doorway. Should be able to pick that player back up again. They've got time. They do have time here, Mark.
Time is ticking though. TMO will have the opportunity to get Bad Boy back up. Justice, the IGL, is trying to hold, get it reconfirmed. And if you haven't already, give that man a follow because they are pretty cool, calm, and collective when it comes down to the comms. But he steps out into an even cool, calm, and collective Max. The Orc will put him down. It's going to be close if they can get that res in because the blue zone, when it has to go to the dot, he has to take the run. He takes a huge shockwave, doesn't he? Now the spray comes into the Skittles though, as they're looking for anything they can get.
It's all over the place right now. TMO finding shots all over the place. Actually 10 kills off the back of this one. Quickly turn the tide here. 2 players up right now. 4 Go Next. Smoke swimming through. Flashbangs out. Some decent shots off the side. They have to get those kills back across towards Skills. This is all over. Good shots from the sidelines open fine, but he's getting squeezed further and further back in. Good shots from his teammates. One player left here for TMO, and Bad Boy has to heal back up again. Flashbang out. That will force him to turn.
Force him to turn. I think it's going to be a useful dump now. If Finn has got the left peak, so Bad Boy will have the better angle. He has to now try and get the med back on, but the Molly has cooked him, and they've cooked him to perfection. Go Next Esports will take the first game. Huge game for them. It's 12 kills. It's a 22-point game, and big GG's. Look, let's just break this one down, right? Because a lot happened very early on before because we have to get ready for the next game because it is kicking off. But there was so many teams that got huge kills. Go Next, though, found themselves with a nice 12-kill game. Myth-Off with a wonderful 11. And then we go back to Jogger Benito. Even from the start, they actually got themselves 9 kills. So a couple of teams early on looking to try and set the standard because we've only got 5 maps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic start for a couple of our teams there. And what a great ending as well. I mean, for TMO, it looked like it was all going right. But I think Go Next just had this uncanny ability to get across that open ground. And TMO just wasn't quite prepared to take the shots. It was the awkward, like, triple right side peek as he was walking across towards the fence. And they couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it.
Well, they both locked down those positions. We're going to lock down to a good break. When we come back, we're going to continue to follow group number A. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few. Here we go. It's time for match number 2. Obviously, appreciate, guys, I haven't got it in the top left-hand corner. Why? Because I broke some stuff at the beginning. The sound should be okay. More importantly, blank store here. He's not run away, and the flight path is horrible. North down to southeast. We're going to push everyone to the east side of the map.
Yeah, it's unfun. Very, very unfun. I mean, a lot of the areas on that western side you kind of want to head towards. It's rough. I mean, obviously, this is the type of game where you're picking up vehicles as quickly as possible to get on board.
He's here. About to say, observer, wakey, wakey, rise and shine. It's PUBG time.
What's confused me for that. I love even the mouse shape as well. As he's waking himself up. It's like, mesmerized by Miramar.
Have I crashed? Has he crashed? Are we here? Like, no, we are. We're definitely here, guys. We are definitely here. There's that north. There's that to the south or east. Look, obviously the zone has to play a part of which way does it go. I think a lot of these teams will be taking some alternative drops, though. Mogor looking to take the alternative actions of Ivan. Nana. Shots will come out the break with the AK. He's going to click right. He hasn't quite got a connection, but at least he's charging to go get the car.
I really thought he was going to grab himself a knock there, honestly. I mean, it's a little bit difficult with the AKM, but what can you do? What can you do?
Well, what you can do is you can have an extended drop. Jogger Benito driving their way down. They're going to flatten the cats. Running over cats outside their house is not great here. GG finds one. Now he's going to try and find another opportunity. And what is Jogger Benito? They've got a bee in their bonnet to destroy the cats.
Yeah, not happy about it at all. Dogs are barking. Oh, it's all out of the kitty. Nice shot. A good jump out from the side there. Gets himself behind Killer very quick. And there is an off angle. MP5 steals the day away. There was swag on me. It really feels like it this game, not gonna lie.
This is dangerous. Remember last game, right? For those that might have just jumped in, we saw this round number 1. These are both Group A teams, by the way, and they are fighting yet again. Ensured destruction. Jogger Benito did get the better, but Hello Kitty was able to ensure that one player was still remaining, and then they got the chips, and they came back and actually were finding themselves in a late game fight. Nodo has the angle. He has the right peak. For now, we get to have a quick look, though. James is in the lobby. Everyone's been asking. There he is. That's what the observer wanted to show you.
Oh, we missed a knock.
No, we want to see James. We want to see James. That's why we
in that shot. Yeah, it's true. It's true. James is here. Day is saved. Towards him. Not quite enough there. Juju will have to crawl to the side here, but he's bleeding out fast. Teammates are a little bit far away. I think he's probably done for.
Yeah, he's gone. The recall not too far, so they'll be okay. Jogger Benito looking to try and close the gap. He's put a Panzer in hands, looking for the charge through. They wouldn't have heard the click, so he's gone for the MP5. He's looking for the player to go on the outside edge. So makes the jump. He's got the back. He fires, though. It's hope. It's dreamfall, but the dream is not to be. Hello Kitty, they will fall down 16th place. No recall, no opportunity for a top 4. Round number 2.
Yeah, Panzer phased right through that guy as well. I was not expecting that. He can be ethereal in that moment. Whilst we were on the map screen for a little bit, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about Team Nemesis on that last game that we had. We weren't watching them, but Only 3 points there, Mike. Pretty rough.
Yeah, we've got to talk about leaderboard, guys. Like, obviously, we are following group number A here, and I think the biggest thing is I think there's a lot of teams with expectations here, guys, and one of them is Team Nemesis. They're definitely a team that I've got an eye on and keeping an eye on watching. They've got a lot of support, and they've got a huge fan base. But game number 1, they were subject to a third and fourth party. Teams read them in the kill feed, and they're like, we need to get rid of them because they're a dangerous team. But they've only now got 4 games left to claim back. I'm not going to count them out just yet, but I do want to also notice the people that are watching the leaderboard, though. Hive, massive game for them, 25 points. We thought Go Next had a bit of a strong card. They topped them with a huge amount of kills. 15 kill game 1 and a win.
I mean, that's an incredible result. I mean, 15 kill game, that gets you momentum, it gets you blood pumping as well. I think getting started, fired up, warmed up game 1 always is a massive benefit for the rest of your matches. So I think for Hive there, this is a very promising start for them here on day 3. Recall beacons going off in the distance there. Yeah, sadly, Fowler Kitty won't be able to get that recall magic going again and reveal themselves in the final circle. Oh. This time, Benito does get to put the entire squad down there. And they're going to play on pretty happily from there. Just carve them out a nice bit of space here, Mark.
Yeah, they've got a lot of space to work with, which is good. 7 game in. Obviously rotating their way around. They didn't have too much of a bad game. They're just going to try and capitalize on here. Secure Ascent, an aggressive team. So obviously Mika, ex-Team Ascend, Team Germany. Great guy. He looking to try and capitalize here. Jocko Benito is literally jogging. And don't forget, Secure Sensor would have seen that recall in the distance as well. So you would always expect, especially around here, Blank, that actually, when you see that recall center going off, you've been reading the kill feed. We've got the kill feed tracker there in the game, right? Yeah. They'll be like, that's the team that's come from Power Grid. That's where they've gone next. So they're looking to try and pick off maybe 1 or 2 that might be trying to hold an anchor. Yeah,
absolutely. I was about to say, you know, you see that go off, you're pretty confident at least one player stuck behind, but yeah, does have to run away. I did see a little flare gun on the leg of one of the players there from Jocko Benito. So potential RDM in this match. I mean, not bad towards the plateau as well. That's very nice. You guys still want to be?
Yeah, we have them too. We have them.
Yeah.
He goes to the crash. Joe will go down, and he's one. Obviously taking church. This is a key compound on that south side. It's going to give him some elevation, at least to look onward to maybe next zone. I do fear though we're going to see the zone shift further away, so they're going to be chasing the zone. Back towards the other side, we just mentioned a minute ago. Hive over in the lobby. Big game from them. As I said, 15 kills, and as you hit the nail on the head. You start a game number 1 with that level of kills, let alone getting the win as well. A 25-point game. Like, you've got a game to throw away at this point.
Which is great. You want those games. You really want those games. Sadly, I think Nod was the one who had the flare, by the way. He gets taken down on the roadside. So either they have to peek out towards the roadside to pick that one back up. But Mogul's going to be watching that one. A couple of recall beacons. We're getting the players flying straight back in here. Skittles will find themselves a nice little molly kill over towards Brightside. Another point added to them. 2 kills on the game so far, which isn't bad, but yeah, a lot of DMR action going on right now. Again, this area of the map quite plateaued, so you are seeing quite a few teams set up towards these high grounds, pick up the buildings, and then just taking some hot shots towards one another.
Pop shots they can confirm. The team's going to take those EP carts and work their way in again, especially these teams that came on that sort of the last stop on the plane, should we say. And they want to try and leapfrog themselves ahead and get themselves in a good position. Into though, they've got to keep these cars alive. They'll pop the smokes. They're going to get rotating their way around. There's other teams that will conquer, especially towards that west. Joe will get to hold out at least, but that car, I can't see it surviving, and arguably it's going to be difficult to rotate from that point if you've got so many teams lurking. Project Needix in St. Martin, an area which you can get hunkered down, but Needix is down, so there is a project to maybe get him back up as Ibadon have the eyes in the sky looking down this position.
It's a tough spot to play on for Project Nedex, honestly. You have a lot of angles over towards the spot, and you're just getting across the Nedex. It's a tough position to be in. So we'll see if they can make this one happen. Michael's going to move around with the UAZ, give himself a little bit of cover there at least. When the tires popped off, but you can get your player back up, and it means way, way more than just one tower and a UAZ. Mortars going on.
I must admit, players are getting these locked in now. So we'll see if Com can deliver the goods. When you do observing, it's always a nice icon to see when you flick across the map. It does distract you. I think he's still trying to calculate where he's going to launch this one, but you'd expect him to have some players a little bit closer, or at least have some opportunity to kind of figure out exactly where and if these teams are positioned.
Yeah, I mean, mortars is definitely not something I'm super familiar with. I think we'll be getting them in PUBG Mobile at some point, but yeah, you are right. They do have them locked in. Goodness me. That's close. I mean, over towards the concretes, I mean, mortars are fantastic. They open roofs over towards here. Yeah, tough stuff. Immediately scattering across the side.
If you can get it when they're fighting, you're just bagging points. You're just literally bagging points. Obviously, at the moment, Arben are going to be able to sort of dance to dance and keep an eye on it. And they've definitely got someone kind of zeroed in and watching for the compound. But look, it's good. Yeah, it makes for cinematic. But they need to go away. Melman, he's been confirmed. He's going to fall. As Skittles, well, got the high ground now. A lot of these teams are going to have to start rotating, but we're still early. We're 15 teams, 53 players, and we've not even gone for phase 2 yet.
So it's D. Let's see. Taking a couple of shots right now over towards teams rotating through. Quite tagging on, but a bit of damage over towards the vehicle is always nice, and that bad boy blows up quick as well. One of the least HP pools in the game.
Yeah. See what happens from here. Skittles not too far away from the zone. He's going to be there, so he does find one. So they are on the OP. The car is pretty much cooked. They had to jump out into scrabbling their way towards zone. Skittles now got to try and figure out what they do when it comes down to a zone with this split, but they've got to get the res back on. So expect him to collapse now, because the player they have lost is on that high ground, especially in that sort of southwest corner.
It's such a leisurely rotate through. I'm surprised they didn't get punished more than that, to be quite frank. But yeah, this area is unfun in my opinion. A lot of high ground to be taken, but if you're one of the teams on the outside moving in here, Mark, like, you don't really find a great spot. Poor boys have to rotate a long while just to get a small little valley.
Quite a little valley, but it's the valley of death at the moment. It feels like a secure sense and a little bit of height. Unfortunately, he's getting a bit of PUBG there, as the railings will stop it. Big Dope will reposition, go for his car. They obviously have to get moving here, as we are finally on phase number 2. Mika, well, trying to have a bit of an exchange with Dante up on the higher ground, but not more is coming from it. Only damage, and farming that damage, well, it might have an impact a little bit later.
I mean, the more you can damage Vest at this point in time, like I said, there's a lot of ground around this area, which is nowhere near any compounds, nowhere near any buildings. So if you can put away some of the vests, some of the helmets, like, it does make your life a lot easier later on. And this is such a nice spot to be peeking from as well, because like you can get PUBG'd quite often. Even shooting in towards these areas, just hitting railings, hitting fences, not doing any damage whatsoever.
Sure. Get knocked there, maybe get the opportunity. Yeah, if we can tank these sort of vests, if we can tank the helmets, then you can be in a better position. Joe Benito launching some auto fire back. Or a 4, so they had the opportunity now to go get that chip, and that's where they're launching the mortar fire into, because I can see the barrage of smoke coming out from the valley. It's unfortunately unable to get a bit of a break at the moment, as teams have the space to be problematic to them. They're just trying to zero this one, and they actually get one back. If it does get back, it's the bolty action mortar fire coming over. Let's see if they zero this one in. They should be able to get the darts. Oh my god, right on his head though. Jogo Benito zeroed into perfection.
Mate, cameraman's probably like flicking his vest right now. That was cinematic. Oh dear me. That's the type of situation you're observing. You do all that and you just see a clonk somewhere. It doesn't hit anyone, but you get these magical moments like that, and fantastic stuff. Next mortar's not quite on target, but try and zero this one in a little bit further.
I was about to say, the player's moved out. Juju's positioned himself to actually get the binoculars out and go, no, we need to go a little bit more towards the south. Yep, south, fire. It's all down. Teamwork makes the dream work, though. Another one down, and Insa have no hope. All they can do is pray that they can get to those blue chips and more importantly find themselves a recall center. Zone comes back to the south, so scrap the idea. I can't see a help happening. Inside they're split, they're 2 solos and on 2 sides of the map.
That is gorgeous. I mean, that's fun. That's fun. That's probably very upsetting to play up against, but that is fun to watch. I give him that.
Well played. It is well played. Let's see where zones will obviously now take us. These teams are starting to rotate their way in. Project Needix being one of them. Michael getting caught out as his car's now gone. He's got to try and lay low. They've got to try and find themselves a little bit of a cubby hole. He does find James. He's going to turn them all to fire. He's got as short as he can. 181 meters, 169. He's just launching everything he can just to keep the Project Needix under fire. No way. Oh, it's perfect though. But they pick him up inside and they get him to safety.
Dear me, what a game this has been. So fun with the mortars, getting your teammate on your back, running away from the explosions behind you. Did Michael get back up again here?
Yeah, Michael's just dancing around. His car's left him. He parted ways with him. You can see it in the distance, and he's trying to help. The only advantage he's got, he hasn't got Jocko Benito zeroed in when it comes down to mortar fire. Whatever that team is eating for breakfast today, like, give me that recipe because they are on an aggressive hype, Jocko Benito.
I know. Goodness me. Telepathic mortar fire going on the top there. Incredible stuff. Fun game so far. I mean, of all the actions happened, we still have 56 alive, so there's still quite a lot of players in the lobby, 15 minutes in. But that is going to cut down fairly shortly as we head further into this game. Nice shot from Nedex there over towards Jezif. We'll take down a player from Con there. That's some much needed relief on that team. If they can get a pick over towards one player and start carving out some space in front of them, that is a desperation move coming through from Project Nedex. They do have 4 players up. They can push this.
Yeah, the difficult they've got is they've got to keep these cars alive. They've taken a lot of damage here. After watching the mortar fire coming in. Again, this is what I spoke about last time. If you're under pressure, like, the mortars take advantage. But when that pressure's released, you can sort of really dance. Especially if it's you're only one player kind of launching there. You kind of need a body there to, hey, he's going to come out the cover. Let's get some shots. And then keep that pressure, keep that player dancing. Avanana, well, keeps him in a cubby hole. Phase number 3 does descend a little bit more towards that sort of north side. We will see Project Needix in, but teams like Banana, yes, they're in now in this phase, but that transition to phase number 4, they need to be very cautious because the zone's going to bounce away.
Back on board with Nemesis, at least. There are 4 players up and running, but they're right on the edge of the circle. They've got Skittles bearing down upon them. You going south? You going south? Yeah. Towards power grid.
There's a couple we see from here. There's a couple we see from here, but this one's the most consistent. Sorry, this was the most consistent when it comes down to these zone shifts. So that's why we saw so many teams in the cars. Anyway, back to the action. VH, they were in the cars. Con rotating their same way. So they've just clashed. They've just bumped heads now. And they have to take the fight as quickly as they can because Project Needix, they're going to get eyes on this one.
The distance outside in the blue, taking down players. Jocko Benito on for another good one here. 9 kills in the previous game, up to 7 now. Mortar kings of the lobby at the moment, laying down some absolute firepower. It is fun. Odds in a whole world of hurt, smokes, mollies, everything around him. Teams start to fly over the top side.
This is horrible for teams. Everyone's trying to get to this ridgeline, right? But what's going to happen is there's going to be too many teams here because you want to be the last team here to try and hold out, or you want to try and be one of the first teams, especially on the outside angle that we just seen there, because they can capture these teams coming in. But if you do not clear them, it's a 50-50 game from you there. You either get killed or you survive out, and if you survive out, you could be around.
Yeah, absolutely. That ridge side as well. Yeah, fantastic. You do want to be the last team there, but the best thing is Jocko Benito, they already held down that warehouse, and a lot of that angles on that north side. So they have a place to basically call home before they third party later on. So they're in a really good stead this game. Honestly, really, really good stead. Maybe not as good as some of the teams that are currently playing towards power grid, but I think Jocko Benito has great opportunity to start wrapping and clearing out the edge of the circle going forward.
Let's see who they can wrap and clear out. One of them has been cleared. That's Con. They've got to try and work their way down. Phase 4 on the defense here now in the northeast corner as Hive. Well, that game number 1 leaders for their lobby. They have to try and punch a hole through phase 4. Kick for Life's going to be there as well. Gene show. That's why Bolties are king at the moment, as he will find himself pushing his team up towards 600. kills. Scrap that. It's about to be 7.
Easy stuff. I mean, for the boys over on Project Nidex, their game started off pretty rough, right? They were locked in quite a while. This car has taken them across the world and back again, despite it smoking and flaming up on the front side. Very, very impressive. They managed to keep that thing alive this long.
A bit like my car.
Yes. If it works, it works.
Gets you A to B, kind of.
But yeah, I think that they've shown some pretty indomitable will during this game, so fair enough to them. They need those points. They need those points.
Given the benefit, right? Because they have been one of the teams that have been grinding really hard. They've been putting the work. They've been doing most of the scrims since we kicked off this year. So they've been eager to get things launched down. A bit eager, like we've seen that nade. That's going to roll nicely. Oh my God. Mogul will fall down. Hive. Well, the Hive gets to push in. Here comes the follow-up nade as well. That one quite doesn't get the connection that's wanted, but they're getting a barrage on the other side. Secure Ascension says, if you can post a letter, we can post too. And they steal the kills away from Hive.
So refreshing after such a nice day. Down the top by Mojo, from the backside. By Banana on the side, peeling them back, and they will have to back off.
I like what he did there. You could have gone peeling them back. That's what we want to see. Gonna have to reposition. Power Grid though still holds on. Secure Ascension. I like they got aggressive. They went to go look for some kills. They now fall back towards that kind of firehouse. And Nemesis though will finish things off. Hive had the opportunity to punch the hole, but Nemesis though was there to avoid the revenge. A team which needs to make up, as we said before, maybe a tap on game number 1.
Into TM. Over the top side towards TLW. Nice shot from Scarce there actually. The headshot comes through.
6 kills.
Make the move up. Yeah, I mean, fantastic ball and Scarce on his lonesome. But yeah, finally we put down by Bitcoin on the top side.
It was such a bad game for them. They were split. They were under mortar fire. They'd been barraged by Jogger Benito. They had to run away from their compound. They got, do you know what? 6 kills, GG's. It's game number 2. You've got a few more to bag up.
I'll give you that. Nod finds James, honestly. Bolly action going back his way. Will be locked down inside the shack, and very, very tough pickup there, I would say, for the squad. I think Project Need at this point in time is where you got to make that executive decision. Just let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go.
I think you're right. James is the IGL here. This is a really interesting team. There's been a lot of talk about this team because James is a great IGL, but so is PWD. He's very detailed. So actually, you'd always think of this and go, actually, that's going to be a clash. It's going to be a conflict of interest because there's kind of 2 voices. But again, I'll go back to my point. These guys have been screaming so much that I think they've kind of found the fluidity. The dance that this team seems to be working out. PWD brings a lot of detail to the game. James is steering the ship. I do like what we see from this team, and a team which I would expect to be going through.
Yeah, we have some fantastic squads over in PUBG Mobile, and then there's some of the best in the world. Regnum Kai, for instance, they have 2 players on side, both of them IGL, but it's dependent on which position both players are in at the time. If one's pushing or one's pulled back, like they just switch the IGL on the dime there. That's the team who's been playing for a while though, so it is impressive that a new team here is able to have the confidence to be able to just say, hey PWD, I'm usually IGL here, but I mean I think you've got a better position to call the next shot, so we'll go with whatever you're saying. So I think that is impressive from a team that's like been formed together fairly recently.
I will love to see how this kind of resets, as obviously the rebirth of TPP now for PUBG esports and all these teams having to relearn the game. And if you have that kind of that flow that this team's producing, I think they are going to be one to watch. So it's one to watch. It is obviously on this north side. Secure Sensors do find themselves on the outside. Jogger Benito trying to find themselves from these last teams coming in on the north. They are applying pressure. I'm a bit worried. Frag IQ, well, scrap that. Frag IQ had a player sit on the outside, and that was going to cause some problems. But Skittles, well, they saved the day, at least when it comes down for Jogger Benito.
Yeah, not behind his skills. I mean, even last game skills were playing fairly decent. I mean, obviously didn't come out with the win there, but I think some of the wraps they had weren't too bad. I like this movement over towards that north side, trying to hold the teams out who are on that far northern edge, who might not have come down from the hillside just yet. They're playing it safe right now. They do wrap back down again, but this has held Jogger Benito out in this pretty open area for a little while there. Allowed Project Nidex to squeeze themselves a little bit further off towards the west. And for skills, honestly, this only works in their favor, though they have taken a knock in the process, which isn't ideal.
That's what they can do. It is not ideal because There's a grenade on. They have got, obviously, Markham back. Don't know how much gear and utility he has got. Skittles on the right lean. Looking to try and capitalize up, though. Bitcoin has to spray. Doesn't quite get the knock this time. RSQ mode, well, has to apply the pressure forward, though. Bitcoin looking to try and get the flashes. He has to hold the defensive line.
I mean, Bitcoin has been looking pretty golden this game, but inside the blue zone, he's just going to tank this bad boy. Drops the first aid kit in. Now we'll run over the top side. Smoke's been put down, so I think he thinks he can go on the aggressive here. Nade off towards the right-hand side. It's not quite good enough. There's even more shots coming through. We'll drop another smoke. You do have your boy in the background here just providing a little bit of support. Frame front and back at the moment. This is tough, though, Mark.
It's tough because it's time's ticking. The zone's going. When they come over this ridge, you're going to see Secure Sensing. If they've got a release for pressure, they're going to be able to look. I feel like for teams, for Skittles or Jogger Benito, it's capitalization now. How many kills can we get out of this round? We've got a good consistency already. Doritos come down. Bitcoin comes over the top, though. He gets the first initial spray. Now we can hear the footsteps, though, rapping on this left-hand side, though. That level 3 vest, well, it's pretty much gone, but he is pretty much gone now as he's the final player for the team. It's Tippy Toes. The flash is perfect. He gets one. He might be able to swing back and find the other as he can hear the footsteps, though. He has to lay down. He's going to go for the spray. Doesn't get a connection. He clicks dry and he is out.
Oh, you see, I think honestly there, he just need to believe himself a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but I think he actually just had to hold that angle. And he might have got away with it. Nedex looking for a little bit more damage over towards that top side at the moment. This is him and the last player on his team, PWD. We'll send out. Head their way. Goes a little bit short at the moment. Blue zone not quite finding it on the rocks. If that had gone far enough, maybe okay. But Nedex does find the headshot towards Mason. This gives him an opportunity to move forward with the M249.
No.
We'll put him down.
Nice try. Gonna give Nedex some kudos there. Blue zone wasn't great. He followed that with a good knock. And do you know what? W key went down and I like it. But yeah, Simon was like, what are you doing, mate?
I mean, it's a dirty couple of shots. It's always so anticlimactic, right?
Let's take it. You're going to take it, though. Nedex was getting the win, though. He was getting the win, though, but not going to be the case. Have to retreat their way back. Probably need to get us down to a final player. Secure Sensing, though, has the higher ground, and they have been able to kind of relieve some of that pressure. It's mainly for Star Banana, maybe more towards this northeast. So they've had to take the ridges. You always worry, especially with a position where Secure Sensing is, that teams kind of sneak through the warehouse, they come into the power grid, and they cause some major problems because you kind of have to take the fight heads up. Now they've kind of pushed these teams out. They have the ability to farm information. They just now need to check off the south. Make sure no teams come through power grids, and they'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, God, sorry. I thought that was a grenade. I thought that was a grenade.
Yeah, no, I've had those games as well. I mean, for Secure Sensing, the best thing for them right now is that they just want to hold this compound as long as possible because it is the best building to dodge nades in. It's very hard to find any pinpoint nade over towards there. Blue zone nades might be preferable in situation. There's so many metal doors in there, so many little angles you can just throw yourself into. You can even jump off the second story balcony and take no damage off the back of that. So they're fairly safe when it comes towards that late game. It's just a question, like you say, of just holding these teams out. And so many of these teams have found themselves on that southwest side. But Secure Sensing has been doing a good job to keep sending bullets back out that way.
Yeah, they've got to try and hold. And look, you see the pressure. Jogger Benito's pushing Team Nemesis in to the power grid. Secure Sensing trying to hold that line. I like that we see on the mini-map, though. I've been on are eager, watching maybe if there's an opportunity for them just to maybe try and get in. They don't quite get the opportunity this time. That is going to be a good flash that come through. Grenade comes out. It's not bad. And Jogger Benito, well, they've got all the shields to try and hold this one. But there's no need, though, when you got the spray with the M4. One will fall, though. So Steve has to take cover. He's going to go down and Team Nemesis down to the final Melman.
Yeah, Melman had to send in MP5K. All he's got on board as well. A bit rough, to be honest with you. Banana of the northeast side with one final player from Project Nedex just holding down. I mean, at this point in time, you get yourself a top 4. That's pretty decent for Project Nedex. Their game has been rough. Good shot from Melman. will get eliminated by Topic.
Yeah, and the zone, obviously, as you said, shifts back that way. Project Needix just has to lay low. That's you could argue maybe second place at this point, especially these teams will end out. It's a 3 versus 3 versus 3 versus 1. Joga Bonito, well, we know their stance, and that's aggressive. They're starting to run their way in. They're having a little look around here. iBanana, kind of wait for them to activate. They kind of need to get involved. There's a spray. They get an opportunity. Campbell, he believes in one. Simon will fall. They've got to try and take as much of the zone as they can.
Yeah, remember, you're right. We have just been waiting for the sleeper cell to get going, honestly. We've been saying the word over and over here. We're not quite clocking through on this squad just yet because they could push in. There's been so much action on this southwest side. You actually would have hoped that iBanana started throwing some smokes a little bit earlier, started moving up. But they're happy to just sit on this northeast side. And I'm actually coming to agree with you on terms that, you know what, for Project Needix, very potentially a second place with so many teams not looking his way and so much the action focused on around this building.
Let's wait and see. I'm surprised that we've not seen iBanana kind of take that ridge line, that little cubby hole there, just kind of on that first sort of, I don't know, shack, the little shanty shack thing. Underneath the eyesight to secure a sense, and maybe they've not been able to get the opportunity to sort of move forward with that high ground on that fire station. Project Needix at this point, I'm kind of thinking is a second place. Joga Bonito looking to try and be aggressive, but where do you go from here? You either go full send into secure Sensen. The cards are in their hand. They can sit. They've got the height, they've got their height and their eyesight to see where the teams are coming. The worst case scenario for them is iBanana and Joga Bonito push at the same time.
Yeah, you kind of wonder if iBanana's not pushing because they just saw where Joga Bonito's player was.
Yeah.
It was a knock, it wasn't a flush, so they're worried about pushing up and getting sideswiped on that angle too. So both teams are basically forcing each other into a 3rd and 4th place scenario, essentially, which is rough to say the least, but you're just going to try and live this one out. I think for Joga Bonito, they can wait this one out a little bit longer, but final zone now, Mark, and start to crunch in. For Needix, they just don't want to get spotted. Actually sending the vehicle up here. Some good shots, but these are not placing back over towards Wexner, but it's actually coming through from Project Needix to find themselves that shot, which is another pickup. 8 kills on the game. This is awesome.
Problem. He goes up another kill. That's number 8. So that's the position I was talking about. iBanana do eventually take that. The molly comes out. Goes a little bit too far here. That grenade, well, it's not going to help when it comes down. But the opportunity, though, he swings out right side. Gets another one. The spray comes through on the outside edge. Looking for a second, but no, it is going to be a 4th place. But they get some additional points anyway, nonetheless. Joga Bonito down to their fire player. It's a 3 versus 2 versus 1. And it might be done for everyone else apart from Skira Sensen.
Joga Bonito would love to come out for 2nd place here with the 15 kills they got from this game. Looks like he is just walking out into the blue, though, right now. iBanana starting to encroach a little bit. 3 players alive, but they've been fairly quiet. Some of these shots from the top side, from Square, the SLR, not been too impressive this game, to be honest with you, Mark. Looking for a little bit more here towards the end game. But to be honest with you, all things considered, I think Sakura Sensen, they have definitely manipulated this lobby in their favor.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a good take for them, right? You got to remember, they came here quite early. Obviously, the zone shift away. We saw, obviously, them come from the south, conquer the area. Now they conquer potentially a victory. iBanana will step out, though. Juji will forward. Doritos nearly crushing the bananas. Don't slip on that banana skin, though. Here comes the flash. Will the Ridge try and hold out? Secure Sensen looking to try and close, but the DBS puts him to a 1-shot.
That's more like it. I thought we weren't going to see any of those.
I blame you. DVS. That's a good game. Game number 2 done. Obviously, we are going to continue to follow group number A, but Joga Bonito from group number A standing up strong. But I don't want to take anything away. You alluded to it. Secure Sensen came in from that south side and they controlled Power Grid to the very, very end.
Yeah, it was fantastic stuff. Really love to see it. I think for Secure Sensen, they pick up themselves a good compound. They see it continue to come in their way. And I do think that although some of the shots weren't amazing from that top side, you also got to consider that maybe he was playing as safe as possible because your top guy goes down from Secure Sensen. Suddenly you got 2 teams pushing you. So yeah, I can sort of understand why they would play that safe.
Lots of teams on the rotation, lots of teams going out. You're getting called out in chat because you bought the DPS. We're going to throw to a quick break. When we come back, though, it is going to be round number 3. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you guys in a few.
Hello, PUBG esports fans. In 2026, PUBG esports returns with a more structured, year-long flow. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're bringing more investment and more opportunities. And this expansion goes beyond tournament operations into the game experience as well. Esports is coming closer than ever. With a competition structure open to everyone who plays PUBG, a renewed pick'em experience, the launch of an esports pass, and stronger alignment with ranked, we're building a season that strengthens the link between playing PUBG and watching PUBG esports. For fans, this means more matches, more content, and more season-long storylines to follow. For teams and players, it means more chances to compete, along with increased prize pools and stronger support. Today, we'll walk you through how the 2026 season connects and expands, and what's new this year. The 2026 season is built as a pyramid structure, open from the very bottom. Anyone can take the first step, and every stage leads toward the ultimate destination, PGC. Scrims and Cups are the first step on that path, open to everyone who plays PUBG, from brand new teams and rising talents to top-ranked competitors with pro ambitions. Scrims and Cups are open to all passionate players. Strong results in Scrims and Cups can lead to the regional series, and beyond that, to global events, PGS, and ultimately the PGC stage. The 2026 season keeps rolling with hardly a break from March through the end of the year. With events spread across the year, the season plays out as one connected, year-long race. Fans will have more events and more content to enjoy, and teams will stay in constant competition as the season progresses. At the center of that race is PGS. Now, let's take a closer look at what's changed in PGS for 2026. PGS will be played in a circuit format. Each circuit is made up of Series 1, Series 2, Series Final. And in the Series Final, which is the circuit final, teams can earn even more PGS points. Across the year, there will be 4 circuits and 12 total PGS events. Here's the key difference in 2026. Results carry forward. What happens in Series 1 shapes the flow of Series 2, and that momentum carries into the Series Final. Teams battle each week to create their next opportunity, while fans follow a 3-week storyline across the circuit. Each circuit features 24 teams, 12 global partner teams, and 12 regional teams. In the first half of the year, regional teams will be selected through an invitational format, and in the second half, selection will be based on regional series performance. 2026 season ultimately leads to PGC. There are 2 paths to qualification: PGS points, earned through PGS, and PGC points, earned through regional series performance. So even teams that don't compete in PGS still have a way in. During the season, global events that PUBG esports fans have loved return with even more excitement. In particular, EWC reflects first-half performance, reinforcing that results from scrims, cups, and the regional series can lead to global opportunities. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're strengthening both prize pools and team support in 2026. First, the total prize pool increases by $1 million compared to last year, with more prize money available throughout the season. And the impact isn't limited to the top teams. At the cup level, the total prize pool will be approximately $130,000, designed to give new teams and challengers meaningful momentum early on, and a real reason to keep climbing. In addition, the Global Partner Team (GPT) program expands to 12 teams in 2026, supported by $1 million in team funding to help teams stay competitive and sustain their operations throughout the season. By expanding the foundation through partner team support and increased prize funding, we aim to create an environment where more teams can continue competing and challenging themselves throughout the season. In 2026, the connection between playing PUBG Battlegrounds and watching PUBG esports becomes even stronger. Throughout the season, the following in-game item and esports updates are planned. The Pick'em Challenge, familiar to many esports fans, will be refreshed for 2026, returning in a new and more engaging Fantasy League format. In addition, PNC 2026 and PGC 2026 items will be obtainable through event passes. We look forward to sharing more details soon. Finally, we will prioritize alignment between ranked and the esports competitive environment. Whenever possible, post-patch updates will be applied to official events quickly, keeping the played game and the watched game closely aligned. In 2026, PUBG Esports opens the door wider than ever, so anyone who plays PUBG can take part, challenge themselves, and enjoy the season. Thank you for your continued interest and support throughout the year. Through every change, we will continue listening to your feedback and working to improve our experience. For the latest updates, please follow the official PUBG Esports channels. See you soon.
Here we go. It's a match number 3. We're in. Plane pass been found. Observer's not asleep. I've been impressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, Blank. I know one of the observers are ex-pro players. So we are in special company today. Not just you either. A special company with you as well, mate.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. It's the observers that counts. Honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
Without them, no game. We're not going to see anything. I'm not saying it would be as boring with just me and you, but it would definitely be more boring.
Just lock into one player and that's it. We'll talk about locking in. We've locked in from a flight path though. It is the southwest up towards the northeast. It does come through the southern side of the island. So we take a go. We see that temptation that we might see play out towards the river, but it is very shallow, this flight path. I do worry slightly with this one. Look, there's a couple of things that I watch, especially for us here, is that if we see the zone play into that river, a lot of the time the zone's kind of hone into that river. We see it play back that way. So are we too surprised? Teams maybe just spread out here, grab the cars and just drive to the normal drop spots.
Yeah, I mean, you get the river drops on Tego, and it's rough because I've played a couple of games before, especially on Tego, where you'll get river circles, and it's so undetermined a lot of times. I feel like Tego is one of those maps that just has these awkward circles at time around the water. Yeah. If you get something, I mean, this for instance, yeah, this ain't fun. Usually, I like the circles that head over towards the northwest side or down towards the southeast. Don't mind those as much. Yeah, you're cutting out a lot of the play space on the eastern side, but at least you don't have to cross any bridges. But yeah, this one's rough.
This one is rough, and there's a couple of things that we've seen happen with this before. And that's it, bounce across. Just pin that for a second. Alt F4 is trying to press Alt F4 on the car. There is no escape here, though. They're doing anything they can just to kind of stop it. Why? Because they've got players with guns. Alt F4 take one out of VH, though, down and out.
Come on.
And I think he's rolled it. Oh, no, he's able to save it. 2 wheels. It's all stories. It's all cinematic. Anyway, back to the point. This point here that we're at is going to be really interesting. Why? Because this is the section where you see 2 of the bridges. And actually, north of this, into that kind of shark fin, that Dorito slice just north of where we are, a position there will gain so much more information as people sort of rotate their way in, and you give yourself options to go across towards the west, play to the south, or if you have to, scrabble yourself as quick as you can towards the east. It could be a crazy zone, this.
Observer's drowning now. Not great. VH did have to just immediately walk into the water. I mean, it's really not too many more options for you. Just try and get across back towards your SD team and play out from there. But yeah, I think there's a lot of fun areas on this one, especially like you say on this bridge. There's that tiny rock where you see a lot of fights go down, where it's literally one of the only positions you can play when you're up against a team that's playing underneath over towards the tiny barn down there. But yeah, I think Tago's usually fairly fun for those types of positions. It's just for the players less so. I think us as viewers watching the suffering is great, but yeah, for players not so much.
That's why we cast.
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about some leaderboard though. Obviously, we're happy following group number A. So overalls, they are doing quite well. But you can obviously tune as well. I will get the leaderboard or the official leaderboard out onto chat. Mythos though are on the top with 33 points. Jogger Benito are in second with 29. Hive in third. Secure Sensen find themselves in fourth. 16 teams are going to advance out of the 6 groups. And as I said before, we are going to continue to follow Group A just so we get to see all the other teams. But Alt F4 is working their way in as well. I've been impressed. A couple of teams have dropped a couple of points already, but it's all store to play for.
We've still got 3 more matches in us. I think Choco Benito is definitely the standout right now because down towards 6th place, so their only team not on double digits on placement points. Yeah. They have 5. Most of the teams have 10 plus up towards 13 with Sakura Zensen. Fairly consistent games throughout the day. But they have 24 kills total. They have been running some of these lobbies at the moment, which has been fantastic to see. And again, they're looking to do it again here. They are hunting over towards some of these squads.
Sophie's is calling you out saying, are you watching PUBG in 4K? This must be different for you. But yes, no, it is Blank, and he is a legend, and he is here watching it in 4K, Toffees. Let's let the man be. Jogger Benito are the aggressor. They are receiving some damage here. Mew on the other side, though, do cause an option for them just to maybe duck into the kind of dried out river, as they have to try and keep this car alive. They have to continue to apply that pressure, but it does mean that they need to potentially crash in. 1 player still remains, and will be 2 survivors for them to get in the car, and also still continue to crash this. Why? Because they got the bodies up.
I'm just looking at chat as well at the moment. Benito just flying past. Oh man, they do take a knockout. Mentally unstable, very stable on the shots here at least with the AUG. And some nice shots, and we'll wrap around. This is a great. I love how aggressive Jogger Benito are. It is exciting to watch, but an instant pin pull on the nade. Bounce that over towards the backside. Gets a little bit of damage through, but nice nade from Mason. Continues to push up. He is just courageous.
He's getting the information, though. He's trying to deny it. Goes for the spray on the left side. Good play from him. You know, instead of go for that reposition, he's trying to deny. Yeah, the grenade is going to be cooked over the top. He gets the med on just in time. But oh my God, that's a 7 HP. The flash will come through. He's got the left pick. He's got the advantage. But they've both been blinded by the shining lights, and he will fall 1 versus 1. And mentally unstable, though, charging the way forward. And then maybe they have the secret sauce that will end Jogger Benito. 16th place for them. Oh my, mentally unstable held the line.
Oh my days, what a fight that was. The flashbang was insane. Took them both out, just randomly spraying into one another, trying to get something done there. But Jogger Benito, that is going to be their first quote-unquote bad game of the day. I don't think that was terrible. I think it was aggressive, let's be honest. The way they rotated through there, just expecting no teams to take shots towards them. But again, yeah, this is definitely the big focal point right now. You are having teams that are kind of landing over towards the west and the east side, trying to potentially grab something up for themselves. Team Nemesis dropping over towards, I imagine, this northeastern edge. So they're just going to play this one out from that position.
Obviously, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Like, we only had 2 games, mate, and we had a DBS ending in the last one. So I don't know what he's done to the lobby, but he's
brought the shotguns in.
I'll let you sort that one out. Zone is sorting itself out. 2 minutes 45 left as these teams will look to try and conquer some space. As I suppose for the guys that mentally unstable, they've got to get those chips back in and try and find an option to get back to a 4-man as quickly as they can. But they should have those options, especially being in the position they are. Can't work their way in. I think they'd be a bit disappointed, especially with that south rotation we saw in the last game where they got kind of clashed up against. Or a game in, a big name. So you have picked up, this used to be the team Orchid, but picked up this this roster. It's good to see the Orc in as well. So again, another strong team, another strong lineup. So far, not bad on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I thought Aurora Gaming was kind of a surprising pickup, honestly, coming in towards PUBG. But it's fantastic to see them here. Hoping they can do well. I think so far they're not doing terrible on the leaderboards. Currently in 13th place with 14 points. But again, on the day, I think 14 points is not bad at all. You're going to keep that consistency up because already Joga Bonita, yeah, they had 29 points going into this game. They go out really early. Suddenly that's going to push them down a little bit. They have a gimme with having 29 points, but you can't have multiple of those. And I think that aggression might come back to bite them later on, Mark.
I think it's things to watch, and I think you're right. It's yes, the W key is down, and yes, it is cinematic, but how many times can they do it and fall? If it's a roll of the dice and they stay on the better side of it, then they'll be okay. But we'll have to wait and see. Talk about leaderboard, though. I think it's worth mentioning as we do have a little bit of a lull when we can take a breath, but it's definitely worth noting. Teams like Creef down here, Alt F4, they're in 29th place. I wouldn't expect that. Then we look at Team Nemesis, they're a little bit higher up. They're in 19th place at the moment. Project Needix in 17. Now, they are all on 12 points. So, let's be honest, it's not a long marathon to get away from this one. But currently, they are on the cutoff line. If they stay in this red, they won't be going to the next stage.
Again, we got to have some teams that do go out. Eventually.
No,
it's just
never.
The way PUBG
no,
goes.
we're gonna stay in. Everyone stays in one big happy family.
It would be lovely. It would be. I mean, I feel the same way. I'm always very supportive of all the teams, but eventually someone's got to go. Someone doesn't make the cut. But 15 teams alive right now, 58 still up and kicking. I do think that this has been a bit of a slow match, and again, it will continue to be a slow match, Mark, until we get that, I think, third zone shift. Because we've got to confirm it's towards a portion of the map. But for the boys on Team Nemesis, they're going to be cruising around fairly casually the remainder of the game.
Expectations are high, though. See if they can hold the pressure. They had to go out to go get that BRDM, so they've worked their way out. Now they're working their way back in. This is the zone shift that we have to wait, watch, and see. And wow, it scrabbled its way over towards that east side. That does mean that a lot of teams are going to have to get rotating. We see the emergency pickup go down. Aurora Game, a good play for them. Intrigued to see what kind of Con does on the outside if they try and push into that, because they will see the balloon. Other than that, a lot of these teams have to kind of move their way, especially in the sort of south to southeast approach. And it's not the easiest to drive. Yes, you can get across in the water, but expect a lot of teams now to clash paths now as they have to migrate.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a tough one as well, because if you're one of the teams who wants to get into this, you don't really only wrap in south and back up again because you're going to run into a lot of squads. But do you have the time to make that long wrap on the northern side? I think there was only 2 teams that went out towards the west who might be able to get over towards Shipyard. But you're right. If I'm a couple of players sat around towards the south side of this on Aurora Gaming, I'm looking to move in on this one. Only get extents on the E pickup here.
Maybe a scout mission.
Sending forward. Yeah, definitely a scout mission over towards airport.
Not going to work out too bad for them. The thing is, though, he's going to have to kind of disconnect, because at the point now he'll go too far. Yes, he's going to see those cars below him, but he's going to lose track of him. So there's a way up of actually how long does he stay on there. Yes, he might find himself later on. Yes, he might find a position, but what's the reward?
Shots over towards the team rotating through. Hello Kitty not having the greatest days today, honestly, but they do manage to swiftly head on into the woods, set up camp, get the campfire on. Shots from Alt F4 as well, going down towards the backside. That's over towards, that must be extents, right? Sure.
Yeah, it's extents, yeah. This is a problem. He's had to disconnect. Now he's going to have to try and find his way down. The scouting mission not going to be the case. Skills looks like they get 2 from PK, so they crash in. This is what I'm talking about. These rotation paths, and it's difficult to rotate on this south side because you've got the fields, and again, it's not. You can't just full send these cars. You've got to be cautious. Skills get here first. As a reward, they find themselves with another 2 points.
I've really been enjoying Skills today. I think they're not the most flashy teams so far, but I think in terms of like teamwork, that has been really nice to see. And I think you do find these situations a lot of times where teams won't play together like that, and they'll be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, Joga Bonito is a fantastic example of just full send, but I think Skills is just getting those consistent points. It's a question of whether you're going to get towards the top side of the lobby doing that, because you might have some bad games here and there, and although you've got great teamwork, you just don't make the cut because you're not aggressive enough in finding position. I think particularly on this eastern side, you want to be quick with this, Mark.
Did this be quick? You're always going to better rotation. It's phase number 2. 15 teams, 57 bodies up. A little bit of spray from the barrel. Doesn't quite get the connection that's needed. And they are playing tit for tat as these teams race their way round to try and find one of the bridges to get back on towards this east side. Still early enough. You can get away with some of the blue damage. I'm not too worried. I'm more concerned about teams that are holding them out as they try to work their way in.
I think I'm most curious about VH's position on this map right now. I mean, they played West right for a long time, but they're only just moving now, which I find really surprising, Mark. I'm kind of confused by it. Red zone.
Yeah. Takes out one. Pains will be picked up. It does go south. Again, this is the water. Always attracts the zones here. Now, you mentioned before this. He's kind of rocks. He's under the bridges approach. It's going to work out for some teams if they're early. Some teams that come late might find themselves involved in fighting. They don't need to be. And for everyone else, if they can rotate towards airport, try and get themselves in these rice field. It's just a gamble. But if you play it right, you can take it one sort of rice field at a time. Keep your backs clear, and it keeps you alive.
It's got to be done sometimes. You got to work through this one slowly but surely. Teams are moving past. TLW are revealing their position by doing this, though, which is a little bit worrisome in the position they're currently playing. Yaganao, sorry, moving in on the E pickup, trying to get into position. They might find something good off the back of this. Again, a lot of the eastern side of the map hasn't been picked up yet. I think a lot of teams are hesitant to move that far out, thinking there's a lot more teams there, but because everyone's got the same idea, nothing's happening on the eastern side.
No, nothing is happening apart from the crash on the inside. We just thought, well, they survived this one out. I do worry, though, that that is a hotbed for anyone that might have a mortar in hand. Auto-calculated to a degree for some of these teams and some of these players. But at the moment, they do clear it, and it will give them an opportunity just to kind of hunker down. The rest of these teams try and find a position. It does come back down towards that south side as we saw before. Everyone else, they're going to try and shift their way over.
This is good from skills. This is what I wanted to see from this team. Pick yourself a more central position. Get themselves settled in. Again, with the res beacon right next to them as well, they're guarding that. So any stragglers come their way, they can pick themselves some free kills, basically. A couple of freebies.
Yeah.
And because that's going to remain there for a long time because it is so central. This is a nice little honeypot for Skittles to play around with.
Good hold. These cars are pretty much gone. I've got one on top of its roof. It's a bit more of a cover field. And they are split off. Smoke's utility. That's what we want to keep an eye out now for. Is, who can sort of reserve or hold on to, especially if they can find themselves late game. That is going to be beneficial. Jar, again, not had the best day so far. They've kept themselves alive now. It is still 14 teams, though, but we are phase number 3. As ever, well, Saints get a knock. It's stolen away from VH, and they actually find themselves with another knock, so they'll be happy with that one.
AWN in hand as well. I mean, for VH, they've been on a long journey. They've been on a long journey. So the fact they're even able to get in here and get some work done is absolutely fine. DFX pick themselves up some lovely gear here on Tego with the mega drop on board. The frag is Le Dead underneath the bridge there.
Difficult to hold, but it's a good position. VH are going to be happy. You'd expect the zone to sort of play back, at least hold this on for a while. Danger they've got is Every on the other side. There you go. Is Every on that sort of west side. They've got some higher ground, and with them now still being in zone, that's going to cause them some problems. So VH going for this split. I can't see it working out, but it's a good position if they can stay alive.
Towards the western side. Yeah, you're right. Now VH is a really good spot. I mean, I think their rotation. Personally, I think that rotation is a little bit late. I think they got a lot of teams in front of them. I think they are very lucky the circle shifts back over towards this western side, and they're also quite fortuitous. They were able to get that knock and flush, which gave them a little bit of space to work with. Nice little freebie there for them. Depends how they play the rest of the game out, because honestly, getting in here, making the quick decisions off the back of it, yeah, it's a little slow to start off with, but whatever. They've made it work now. BRDM ominously sat at the side of the arena.
Sosa's just bullying now. He's just trying to find an angle, and he's got a Groza for those that didn't clock that as well. So not just the BRDM, not just the tank that he is, or the GOAT. Also found the firepower to be able to do that. Diffix finds 1 and 2 though, as they do crash their way in. The problem with though is Nemesis have to try and hold out. They are split. It's a little bit of a steal from the adjacent side, but Nemesis will try and claim as many of the points as they can. PR will fall also, so they're able to close as well. More teams just kind of circulating through. They tried to send it through. They tried to send a car on top of him. The grenade goes out, and Diffix says, "You can conquer this as much as you can, but peace out, Hello Kitty."
Oh, mate, what a nade that was. I think he just cooked it long enough. Fantastic stuff. I mean, as soon as I saw the bad boy go out, I was like, I think this is an easy cleanup. Diffix on 5 kills this match, 8 kills total. They have been absolutely wrecking this lobby so far. Great to see. Skills, despite the central position, have only been able to pick up 2 kills at the moment, though. They haven't really been able to cut out too much influence inside this lobby, but you are right, it is difficult. They can't expose themselves too much because it is super open ground.
And you're right, because their rotation was pinpoint accurate. They were just there before people. They didn't really get them involved. They got fed 2 kills because teams were looking to come to the same location. For me, it's going to be all about you two. Look, we've got 5 smokes here. We've got 5. We've got another 5 here, so that's 10. That's going to be key for them. If they can keep the smokes up, they're going to find themselves late game. It's just control. How many teams can they keep at bay? How many teams can they push away? Because as they go forward from this position here, it's going to be all open field, and they got to keep their backs clear.
Fans some shots over towards the team, moving up over towards them. Has to get this first knock. Absolutely. That was a gimme and a half. Smoke's only starting to be placed down here. If you can find the nade over towards the top side, at least deny the res on this one. Makes us into a 3v4 here. Calls the rest of the team across right now. But yeah, I think for skills, I mean, the main problem I find for this squad is that they've made a lot of enemies this match.
Ooh.
It was close. It was close.
Second one might be good. It's going to bounce on the inside. That car's going to go as well. Carl get that confirmation. Bitcoin goes cha-ching and falls back. I love the repositioner. He came off that left-hand peak to go to the field to ensure he was on his right side to try and take the advantage if he had to take a heads-up gunplay. Zone shift slightly away. It feels like he's been recalled back. Now, Skittles, as I said before, they've got to manage their utility, but they've got to manage how they get into zone.
And the first obstacle is this team right in front of them. Who, again, they could squash them a little bit, but the blue's pushing them. Haunt does take a little bit of damage. Team Nemesis still going hard here. That BRDM really putting in work. Nade over the top.
Great nade. Great nade.
Quick throw on it. Should force him out at least, but Melman's there in the backside. You saying this position's hard to aggress upon, but Nemesis making it look fairly easy here, Mark.
They're just taking that BRDM and using it to the full force. It can bully these teams out. Steed will try and make them all forward. Melman goes down to 1 shot, but he refuses to give up that pressure. He does go down. Long distance shots, though, from every. That's come from the west, don't forget. They've got the high ground. 10 kills, make it 11 now. As Nemesis fell early, I'd argue to say teams instantly bullied them in game number 1, seeing them be some down bodies, but they've come back heavyweight fighting and they're throwing some big punches.
This is a hard position to play as well. I'm surprised they weren't taking some slammers back down his way on the hillside. Gonna have to just push up. This is mentally unstable, who had that little bit of a clutch moment versus Jogo Benito earlier on. Nade goes up the hill, will not go far enough whatsoever. Now BB will just immediately put him down.
BB here's the danger, and unfortunately that nade does not climb the mountain as he expected, and the weak arm will now fall down. Auto 4 going to look to try and claim that one. As you can see, they're moving on that mini map. Every have gone for a little bit of a split now. Actually, they're not just on that sort of west side, they play down to the southwest as well, and they hold the shack in the middle. So as long as they can keep the cross angles up, I'd be intrigued to see how that kind of plays out for every long. But for now, they're uncontested. No one's really pushing in. All focus, all fixation is sitting on these teams on the outside edge.
You know, I think that Aurora's played this game fairly well as well, Mark. They played it slow. They were on the western side. Yeah. I mean, these guys are stacked. So, I mean, 6 nades on Stade, 5 over towards Diffix. They give him 1 more as well because of that nade they had from earlier.
Have another one. Get 4 kills with it because we know you're good.
The RTM's a bit wrecked though, right? It's on its last legs. But,
you can see him. They were trying to repair it. I'll give him that. But it's okay. It's better now. It is better. It would be enough for them to continue bullying. No one is actively taking mass amounts of shots at it at the moment. So I think they're getting a bit of a bypass at the moment.
Oh, BRDM's taking them very, very far here. It's done well. Man is invisible. Oh my god. That's about as invisible as you can get for ghillie suit. I've never seen anyone blend in so well. I mean, the deployable shield, as well as the car, is a little rough.
It's camouflage. You got sometimes use what you got. It's the environment. Well, this we've got an opportunity to try and push forward, but the zone is going to heighten that down. 13 seconds are the go. There goes the smoke, because they might look to try and get the cars working their way through. So Steedo using that BRDM to get himself back over. Now it's gone, so got to be cautious where he parks that. And now comes the crash in. Aurora gaming on the defensive. They get one, they get two, and it's one done. And Visto are out of it. They had the option to go the other way. Vis said, no, we're going to try and take on the team. And they are gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, they walked up. I mean, to be fair, the way Aurora played that, they moved out from the side, let them flow in, and then they just had the triple angle inwards. I think that's a very, very good trap set up there from Aurora Gaming.
People know this area. If they've got a mortar, they're like, yeah, there could be someone there. Wrong side of the wall this time. It's difficult for them to come out, especially if you've got teams like August looking to try and work their way in. They might have seen the mortar fire and maybe second guess it, especially from an early crash. But for now, they get the opportunity, and we go back towards the north side. Nemesis play peekaboo. They're on 12, and they are still cooking.
Was that really nice shot over the top there at long range? They got them MK14.
They got an MK. Well. They got a Groza. They've just got rid of their BRDM. Like, what more does this team want to steal from the lobby?
I mean, Team Nemesis, you get out of this game with 15 kills, at least. That's what you want from this match, right? A 25 point will be fantastic. After what was an absolute botched first game of the day, this could definitely make up for things.
Make up for things? This is maybe the last game. They're done. They're out. They've conquered. But yeah, they're on the wrong side of that cut-off line at the moment. But even a 12-kill game, even up to a 15-kill game, that might put them firmly, securely in a spot. Grenade comes out. It doesn't quite go through the front door. The second one falls short as well, as we do flip over towards August. 7 kills, not a bad game at the moment, as they have conquered their way in, but Aurora coming in from behind as well. So Fancy has to make something fancy here, and he has to try and take 1 versus 1s.
The smokes out. I like these smokes at the moment. You're forcing Aurora Gaming into an awkward position. Got the ghillie suit as well, taking advantage of that as much as possible. M79 in hand, trying to get a little bit of impromptu cover. Yeah, it's a decent nade, force him slightly outwards. At this point in time, any chip damage is fantastic, because do they have the time to be sitting there healing up? In the meantime, the Blues pushing them the whole time. Nemesis, they do lose Melman, knocked out on the sidelines. Some decent shots, nice headshot as well, will keep him at bay. Stays just on a swivel, but that is a nice nade, saved by the fact that this rock is sloped.
My brain is discombobulated how quickly you can just switch between fights, farming information and farming out shots as quick as you can. Everlong, I was always worried about this split. At the moment, it's working to their advantage. Divix has gone down, gone AWM as well, but they haven't got zone. They have to get the reses, they have to get pushing. Back to the other side though, Aurora says no. One man feels too many for us to make the play. We want to get in towards zone, and they will back themselves out and around. That will give the opportunity now. Alt F4 working their way in. August though, going to be there. He's about to click right. He's got 22 left in the chamber, and it is done though. Top 4 we go, as we do see Alt F4 claim the east side.
Aurora Gaming looking to stamp their name on this match after what was a really nice scouting opportunity at the start of the game. That is a donk and a half from Diffex over towards R1 into a fairly casual ending. I think overall their rotations this match have been very, very good. And Nemesis looking to take the #1 spot from what is probably the most gifted game I've seen in quite a while in PUBG.
Welcome to Tago. The drops are insane. It is a 4 versus 4 versus 2 versus 1. Everlong did have the position and the bodies, but the cross-up didn't work out for them, as Nemesis did opt to take the pressure. Aurora Gaming though looking to try and conquer as much as they can, and all F4 getting a bit of just desserts now back towards Nemesis Gaming. So Steve does fall down. Rim will launch out the grenade. It will bounce as long as it hits the muddy paths. It does bounce in the way of, but doesn't quite get the connection he was looking for.
He has a couple more though. Pocket to send out, but Nice. I mean, it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
If you can clear the players that are closest to him, then he can maybe live out for a third place. And that's pretty much what he wants right now. If he can help out. Oh, come on. Don't be mean.
Oh, my
don't
God.
Be
Extends gets blocked out by the smoke.
Yeah.
They're like, I think something's shooting me from my side. Can you check? Yeah, now you're clear. There goes the AWM. Looking back, sees the smoke, looking for the bodies to come its way through, though. But we are losing bodies. He had to look to the left. Now catches the player, though, for Everlong. But he's gone to the short side of the zone. So it does mean it's a limited amount of time that before he has to get going. Aurora Gaming, though, looking to get that extension out. They should have the opportunity to get the reses back on. They're back to a 4.
Nemesis losing a play, that's not ideal. They wanted to end this game in first place. I still think they have a chance of doing it. Honestly, though, Aurora's position from this rock side here is fantastic. I mean, where do Nemesis really go from this position? They need to have at least some Doritos to be throwing down, some smokes to be working with. Could they clear out all F4? That's a question, but you know Aurora's going to be watching this position the whole time. They have to wait until this rock gets pushed out, but does it push out the shack first? We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, there's 2 for 1. And when you get that, you get what you asked for. Blank gives them 15 kills as a gift in match number 3. It is phase number 8. Nemesis, though, it's going to be difficult for them. You are right. They're going to have to use Doritos. They're going to have to use smokes. How much have they already expelled working their way down? Alt F4 holding them.
Good. That's
Aurora,
good,
yeah, that's good for them because they have an opportunity now to move. Do they know exactly where their body is? That'll be up to them to try and figure out as they are now looking. As Diffix will sneak his way out the little cubby hole he's in. What an angle. What an angle
right there. Yeah, goodness me. You can tell he said, oh, they got Diffex out. They actually got Diffex out there. He took a fair bit of damage, but he's in position. He's in nade range of Alt F4, which is the terrifying thing, but he might be able to get second place off that.
I like it. Aurora Gaming and Alt F4 kind of agree as a truce, so to speak, as they fake to shoot each other. Aurora, though, comes over the top, not just for 1, but 2. It's going to go down. Diffix, as you say, has snuck under the radar slightly. I don't know exactly if they all know where he is, but yeah, time is cooking. Aurora Gaming now trying to deal the damage as the ceasefire ceases to exist. And Aurora now on 7, looking to claim game number 3.
Yeah, Diffex just trying to live out as long as possible. I don't know how they haven't seen him. I'm not even sure what he's behind right there. Yeah, hoping to find this final player from Alt F4.
Like what Aurora done. They went for the zone. They disengaged. They didn't want to try and make the play in. Grenade comes over the top, though. Diffix running out of time. Rurix has a bit of a spray, but everyone's second guess is peaking Diffix. And here, tell you what, if you've got a Panzer, give it a go. And it's done, though. It's a winner chicken dinner. Aurora Gaming. It's an 18-point game, but my, oh my. Team Nemesis will finish things off on 16 kills.
Yeah, you got to ask yourself, though, how does Team Nemesis lose that game? Honestly, for Aurora Gaming, they said it from the start, their rotation is really good. Extend stand now as a scout early on with the E pickup was fantastic. I think overall, and I was very, very happy with that squad. I think for VH, they could have done a lot more that game, though. I think they petered out real quick, and even that early rotate into what became a very late rotate from the Western side was a bit unfortunate. But yeah, Team Nemesis, they had everything. They still got second place.
Yeah,
I'm not flaming. I'm not flaming.
You'll take it. You'll take it. You asked for 15 kills. They gave you 16. That was game number 3, though. There are only 2 more games. When we come back, though, it'll be the penultimate game, though. And we'll see you guys in a few.
Hello, PUBG esports fans. In 2026, PUBG esports returns with a more structured, year-long flow. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're bringing more investment and more opportunities, and this expansion goes beyond tournament operations into the game experience as well. Esports is coming closer than ever. With a competition structure open to everyone who plays PUBG, a renewed pick'em experience, the launch of an esports pass, and stronger alignment with ranked, we're building a season that strengthens the link between playing PUBG and watching PUBG esports. For fans, this means more matches, more content, and more season-long storylines to follow. For teams and players, it means more chances to compete, along with increased prize pools and stronger support. Today, we'll walk you through how the 2026 season connects and expands, and what's new this year. The 2026 season is built as a pyramid structure, open from the very bottom. Anyone can take the first step, and every stage leads toward the ultimate destination, PGC. Scrims and Cups are the first step on that path, open to everyone who plays PUBG, from brand new teams and rising talents to top-ranked competitors with pro ambitions. Scrims and Cups are open to all passionate players. Strong results in Scrims and Cups can lead to the regional series, and beyond that, to global events, PGS, and ultimately the PGC stage. The 2026 season keeps rolling with hardly a break from March through the end of the year. With events spread across the year, the season plays out as one connected, year-long race. Fans will have more events and more content to enjoy, and teams will stay in constant competition as the season progresses. At the center of that race is PGS. Now, let's take a closer look at what's changed in PGS for 2026. PGS will be played in a circuit format. Each circuit is made up of Series 1, Series 2, Series Final. And in the Series Final, which is the circuit final, teams can earn even more PGS points. Across the year, there will be 4 circuits and 12 total PGS events. Here's the key difference in 2026. Results carry forward. What happens in Series 1 shapes the flow of Series 2, and that momentum carries into the Series Final. Teams battle each week to create their next opportunity, while fans follow a 3-week storyline across the circuit. Each circuit features 24 teams, 12 global partner teams, and 12 regional teams. In the first half of the year, regional teams will be selected through an invitational format, and in the second half, selection will be based on regional series performance. 2026 season ultimately leads to PGC. There are 2 paths to qualification: PGS points, earned through PGS, and PGC points, earned through regional series performance. So even teams that don't compete in PGS still have a way in. During the season, global events that PUBG esports fans have loved return with even more excitement. In particular, EWC reflects first-half performance, reinforcing that results from scrims, cups, and the regional series can lead to global opportunities. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're strengthening both prize pools and team support in 2026. First, the total prize pool increases by $1 million compared to last year, with more prize money available throughout the season. And the impact isn't limited to the top teams. At the cup level, the total prize pool will be approximately $130,000, designed to give new teams and challengers meaningful momentum early on, and a real reason to keep climbing. In addition, the Global Partner Team (GPT) program expands to 12 teams in 2026, supported by $1 million in team funding to help teams stay competitive and sustain their operations throughout the season. By expanding the foundation through partner team support and increased prize funding, we aim to create an environment where more teams can continue competing and challenging themselves throughout the season. In 2026, the connection between playing PUBG Battlegrounds and watching PUBG esports becomes even stronger. Throughout the season, the following in-game item and esports updates are planned. The Pick'em Challenge, familiar to many esports fans, will be refreshed for 2026, returning in a new and more engaging Fantasy League format. In addition, PNC 2026 and PGC 2026 items will be obtainable through event passes. We look forward to sharing more details soon. Finally, we will prioritize alignment between ranked and the esports competitive environment. Whenever possible, post-patch updates will be applied to official events quickly, keeping the played game and the watched game closely aligned. In 2026, PUBG Esports opens the door wider than ever, so anyone who plays PUBG can take part, challenge themselves, and enjoy the season. Thank you for your continued interest and support throughout the year. Through every change, we will continue listening to your feedback and working to improve our experience. For the latest updates, please follow the official PUBG Esports channels. See you soon.
Here we go. It's match number 4. It's the penultimate game. It's at your condo. It's in Toronto time. A bigger map, a bigger opportunity, a little shake and wiggle of the observer to get him locked in because it's been aggressive so far, Blank.
It has, yeah. I mean, Jogo Benito basically running the charge of all that, to be honest. We'll get to see again here. Overall, though, I think the Myth-Of been doing fantastically well so far. 41 points, the moment high, if not close behind 39. PGG, a lot of people had a lot of hopes for this team's on 35, and despite the pretty terrible 3-point game at the start they gave Team Nemesis, they are now in 4th place with 34 points. So great stuff from them.
Yeah, a little refresh. I think the expectation is for them to be quite high anyway, right? But you do worry because, as you alluded to, we do have to lose some people. It's sad, we know. Flame path, though, is a south up towards a northwest, and we are favouring one side of the map. But Myth-Of doing well. I do like that team, as I mentioned before. They did have Seifu, who's in chat. Big shout out. He's now in the Copenhagen Wolves, now playing at NA. Traitor. No, GG, they're boasting the best of luck. But the Myth-Of able to conquer that after kind of solidifying a team, and when you lose a player which is such as good as Seifu, obviously they then had to rejig, and they are looking still pretty strong. Hive, PGG now working their way up there. The slow start as well. Nemesis in that green. All games have been the same. Jogo Benito slipping down slightly. For me, is there a couple of expectations down here? Like, that's a bad zone. Project Needix, low down. They need a big game. They need a really big game. So I'm concerned about them at the moment. That's James's team. Michael, Needix, etc. PWD. Primal still quite low as well. X-How, the How team, again, quite low. So there's some names that I'm seeing this cutoff point. It's a penultimate game. We've got this plus one more, and then we're done.
I think for a lot of people expecting the Turkish team, X-How, to do very well, considering the players on side. I mean, a lot of them, from what I've heard, are pretty solid players. It is interesting they've only been on 16 points right now after 3 matches. But you're right, Project Needix definitely one that we're kind of zoning in on going forward now over the next couple of games, because they're outside the cutoff point at the moment. I don't think it's too hard for them to get above these other teams, but they also, from what we saw, had some pretty unlucky starts to their games, getting mortared, getting constantly harassed, working with one vehicle the majority of the time. They're just looking for that one match. And again, when you start off strong, usually you can keep going. You can usually keep going, but it's finding that second win towards the latter portion of the day. It's always hard.
Yeah, it's the that momentum shift. That's what we're expecting to see. So look for the rest of these teams. Is anyone really sort of standing out as a major? Phase 4 been playing quite well. 7 gaming, they've been hit and miss. They're our Turkish team. Hello Kitty, seeing the leaderboard 39th. They've been bullied, let's be honest. They might want to put a complaint in with HR. No tag team, good team. They're sitting quite low, 11 points, unable to get that momentum going as well. So, yeah, I don't know. We are every day half in the lobby, and I feel like this is the most painful stage because this is where you kind of lose those bigger names, should we say.
I think skills is the other one that really stands out to me, is because we talked about this team a lot, that have been towards a lot of the end games, but they're still sat in 11th place with 26 points, which is kind of eclipsed by a lot of the other teams at the top of the lobby. And again, their play style is qualifying play style, right? That's absolutely what it is right now. It's not looking towards a first, second, or a third. But if that's the goal here right now for skills, I don't really mind it. I think that they haven't made a huge amount of mistakes. They haven't made a huge amount of plays either. But that's okay. If your goal is qualification, that's fine. This team it's got to stop. They've got to stop.
They are going to get complaints.
It's
But
nuts.
they're aggressive. They stay alive. They're active. I like it. I do like it. Let's talk about the zone. Obviously, there's a flight path, as mentioned before, was the south up towards the northwest. It does come early. We've got a lot of unplayable. We've got lots of water in as well. You don't need to factor that just yet. It's going to be that kind of phase 3 to phase 4. But with Rondo, gliders are key. A lot of these teams, especially with this zone, might try and look to the outside edges of Rondo, get the hard spawn from the glider, at least give an opportunity to kind of scout their way in, because a lot of people have to migrate.
Yeah, it's like that massive high ground as well down towards the south side, where a lot of teams tend to end up playing, and you get this weird fights, especially if you get a shift over towards the western side where you're playing across the river between two squads. Could go any way. You're sort of gambling at that point. It's tough. Skills here though, they have a little assassin afoot right now. Shots start coming through, but good backup coming through from Oddie. And a nasty shot from the Dragonov will take it down. I think for Skittles right now, the objective is just to get gone.
Oh, so get gone. They're making it happen. They've lost one. Winkley is down. Bitcoin, who's been a bit of a standout player for them this evening. Doing well. Oh, don't get run over. Needs to be cautious. He gets himself inside the safety. They've got to get a reset, but they've got time to do it.
That is funny. We don't have that. We don't have that. Yeah, Jurgen out. Let's take another hit here. That's a bold peek and a spray coming through from Bitcoin. And right, this guy has been on fire today. I love that play from him, though. I mean, at that point in time, the lad's out in the open. You're low HP, but you take your chances with it. It's more than likely he's going to start running off towards the right-hand side. But now Skittles only down to 2 players. Unideal, not very playable situation. That's a weird run out, Mark. That's a weird run out.
He felt desperate. I know, oh God, he felt below the cutoff line. There is a little bit of, like, you become desperate. You're eager to get points. You're eager to try and have good games. Great spray again. Bitcoin now on 3, and we're 6 minutes in. But it's a gamble. Sometimes I feel like some of these teams that are lower down, actually don't be desperate. Play the game. Play for late game. Play for placement. Kills tend to come if you can find yourself. And well, unless you're like Jocko Benito and you just want to kill everybody, kills will tend to come late game for them. But taking early fights like this, it's not needed.
Yeah, you are prepared for it as well. I mean, that situation is 2 players. You know it's 2 players. Only one guy in the building. I think, yeah, although you're out in the open, you sort of have to stand your ground. Just take that peek through the window. Yeah. Take those shots because you run out to the left there. There's a very, very small chance that you get into towards that building. But yeah, I think overall, we're looking at Team Nemesis get themselves an E-pick up there. I think they did. See them coming in because they were right on the northern side. I don't see them on that northern side anymore.
No. I think they have taken an E-pick off. I think you're right. Let's see. Hangsham. Going to be a bit of a sea of activity, especially for this. As DS. Watch a couple of shots for the MK. I don't quite see the car crest over the hill as they've used the train nicely. So we'll swim their way over. There's that emergency pickup as well. Baldini, a team which again, actually, I think put out on the leaderboard. I would have highly expected these to be higher up in the table.
Yeah, he's got a cat on his backpack, so they got to do well now. I'm rooting for him.
100%.
That's my guy.
If they got cats, it's facts. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
They get a hold. They're in a good position. Jocko Benito on the north, so they might gatekeep everybody and be the last team at the top. But Skittles, well, they smell some danger in the air, so they start pushing their way forward, and it's going to be a bit of a clash of the titans here on the north side of the zone.
I mean, Jocko Benito, it's just, what is this behavior, man? Like, it is actually creepy. It's creepy from Jocko Benito what they're doing at the moment. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of it, but he gets the job done. All right, he gets the job done at the end of the day. They split off, and they might get picked off for this, you know. As long as they can maintain eyes on. Oh, that's an early shot. That is an early shot. I think they could have waited there. I mean, you could collect. You only see 2 vehicles, right? I think at that point, at this stage of the game, you'd expect to see more vehicles if they could. If they had 4 players on board, and they're going towards a recall beacon as well. So you'd expect them to have lower amounts of players. I think for Jocko Benito, they should have collapsed on. What is going on here? This is just weird.
I feel like
the shots.
Skittles was like going for the recall, and I think he heard the shots and he was like, nah, he can't be. No, I made it up. I made it up.
He didn't have a silencer. He had a silencer. He had a silencer, so maybe I'm wrong.
No, I feel like he felt the shots, but nothing connected. But unfortunately for them, 2 become 1. And RSQ need to leave and maybe return, because my logic is he hasn't got the chips to recall. He's going to have to visit back to the north later.
Yeah.
Well, if he gets an opportunity, because Simon's hunting him. Why not?
Yeah, it's just weird the way Jocko Benito plays. Like they could have collapsed there. The safer play would have been to have the 4 angles and just slowly move in on that. But no, they're just looking for it. Just looking for it. And I maybe that's the case. Skills is like, there's no way that they're going to pull the trigger on this immediately. Surely they're going to wait a little bit longer, but not meant to be. So yeah, I think it was, like you said, the other team that was able to get themselves the E-pick up. I just did not see where Team Nemesis went. I think they were far on the north side of the map, but they finally make their way in. And we'll move down. Yeah, this is a really nasty circle. I don't think anyone enjoys this one. A lot of water involved here. We still have unplayable arena as well. And you can sort of, I would say you sort of classify that southwest edge out of the circle. So you're only working with about 40-50% of zone right now.
If that, realistically. The high ground, obviously, we've already seen teams sitting up there as well. We're expected to play back there because the next circle, next center needs to be on land. So what expectations are, it's going to bounce towards that northeast. Anything else? Nice little 360 spinneroozy. You spin me right round. Oh, it's not going to be the case. He finds cover. Yeah, that zone has to shift back to that sort of northeast. But if it doesn't, because we've got one more zone that could be random, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah. I mean, that's even better because it's from your lover who's spinning the vehicle up. So it makes even more sense. Yeah, you're right. No, you're totally right. I love that point you made about the high ground, you know, the pillars being down towards that center side as well. So you're working with even less zone. Again, we talked about it right at the start. No one enjoys it going down towards this side of the map. And this is exactly why, because you start having these awkward positions you have to play, especially if your team coming in late. And for instance, for Team Nemesis now, they've got some tough decisions ahead of them.
Tough decisions. No BRDM, I don't think. No, Diffix is sending it with a car. So at least they haven't got that in their back pocket at the moment. He's going to have a little scout over the top. Also, a lot of teams haven't quite, maybe not in this lobby, but especially from some scrims we're watching, people still haven't kind of got the angles for TPP yet. They sort of still telegraph and their head and shoulders kind of expose. Team Nemesis, on the other hand, he's definitely a lot more tighter when it comes down to giving away that information. So the further we get along this year, that'd be one of the key foundations that teams are going to have to learn, let alone finding that kind of secret sauce, that magic that puts teams a little bit above the rest.
Honestly, for TPP, a lot of it is just prediction, right? I do think that if this shot's come through, I think he's going to wait on it. I mean, that's a hard shot to hit with Mini 14, but a couple of shots go through. He sees the blood splats as well, so he's just going to go for it. Yeah, well played. I think that's smart. Good hold on the fire there as well. Waited to see the blood splats go through before he took the shots. Yeah, anyway, I was just saying, but I mean, with TPP, I can guarantee you as the year goes on, analysts, coaches are going to be invaluable to the team because the amount of time that you have to put into Twire, right? Reading these rotations, because with TPP, you have to make a lot more predictions of where teams are going to be because they're not going to be showing. So you need to know those rotations off the back of your hand. I think it's really hard in a format like this. Yeah. We've got quite a few teams. You're rotating the lobbies very often. I'd say actually the most competitive lobbies that you see, the 16 team lobbies that are consistent, because that's where you really read into a lot of those rotations. Yeah,
you're right. It's going to be key getting those reps in, getting the analytics in, and that is going to come from the coaches and the bigger teams. So that going back and watching those 2D replays and saving them, especially if you're a team that want to compete, because there's been never a chance like this where teams that have the opportunity to get onto the main stage. When you're on the main stage, you get to hit the shots and get picked up here. Kendrick's dances the dance, but unfortunately for Mirror, they cause too many problems. Alpha Tier does get the knock, as I think we'll get that confirmation.
And walks it back a little bit here for TLW as well. Smokes drop down. Nade may be thrown a little bit further. I mean, we'll roll, but I don't know. It's kind of optimistic nade, honestly.
That's a good one. Yep, re-knock. Nice.
Re-knock. Yeah, nice. Yeah, great stuff.
It's a re-knock. Well, at least they're going to read that now as a re-knock. Here comes the secondary. Here comes the third. They don't find it. He's going to start crawling his way around. They can't kind of peek over the top here. Mir have a little bit of a higher to hold. There's that zone shift. That's come back down to town. Doesn't go as aggressive towards the northeast, but it does mean that we are going to see a hard shift now on phase number 4 because we can't be housing that water for much more.
Con between them and VH. Great wrap around here from Trimble. The M249 quickly dispatching him. Filled with holes almost immediately. Now Sacred. A little bit scared, but kind of again, you can't really make that rap like that in third person. I think that to me is a clear case of like in first person that would have worked just fine. Yeah. But in third person it doesn't, because you can't clear both those angles that quickly. In third person before the other player will immediately spot you out.
PGG a good team. That was on the Russian tournament that happened the other day. Struggling, again, names which we'd all expect to see and know. A bit further down that leaderboard, and our climbing. Zubila just trying to back away at the moment as he will shuffle, slide his way to safety. Zone, obviously, phase 3, 110 on the clock. A difficult area. A lot of these teams don't always come across this, especially with these south shifts, as DS do find one knock, and they also find Zubila, so didn't quite get to safety, at least that time.
And for Team Nemesis, this is finally when they're going to make that wrap in. So just after this fight you were talking about just then has concluded, they see their opportunity. They hear the opportunity as well from the third party, and this is where you want to roam in. Find themselves an initial shot with the Mini 14 over towards Otek. Great stuff from them. Now Mailman's going to push forward.
Here comes the smoke. He'll try and breach his way over. Gets the spray as he fades his way back, looking for the confirmation though as the body blossoms on the outside. So Sadid will go find some cover. I think they're trying to gamble which one of the smokes they might be sitting in, but he constantly not staying still. As Diffix, well, we've seen how good he has been with these nades. He's looking for an explosive action. He finds one. The car slightly helps out. Second one is going to go over the top, but it's done actually from a distance. The mirror run out of zone. They run out of space, and more points have been picked up.
Yeah, so it's a gorgeous cut in towards the circle there. Great injection from Team Nemesis. Circle shifts a little bit off towards our western side, but honestly, they found themselves a really good spot to play around right now. They have a team behind them down towards that south side and just one player in front. So I think for Team Nemesis, you know, there's a clear area to play from right now. Unfortunately, you do have the three horsemen of this circle over towards the northwest, the northeast, and the south in terms of those compounds. The open area towards the center of this circle, Mark. Disgusting.
Horrible. For those that have been down here, this is shocking. It's going to be interesting. This fight has to conclude first. You don't want to sort of leave and find the backstab, and then don't forget, we don't even mention the high ground. Oh my god, that northwest side, they've got a pillar. They are just sitting, loving, watching and waiting as the zone continues to shift away. Tilted. Oh, might be tilted, not with that skin anyway on the barrel. He's just hoping that someone jumps down and he might get that sound cue. For Team Nemesis, can't see it. They've got, as I said before, they've got to weigh up. They've got to weigh up going. How far do they go and where they play? Because this side is open terrain. I wouldn't be too surprised for them if they get a knock on this, making a crash towards the northeast.
I mean, you have to, right? You have to. If you get a knock on that, you just have to full send it. I mean, the big thing right now playing around this area is you got tree line cover. That's the only thing that's keeping you alive. And we have just passed across most of it, but it's the only thing keeping some of these teams. If we didn't have all of this tree line, this area of the map would just be hellish to work around with. You can make these wraps over towards the north side though, but as just two players, it's way less likely that this team's going to go for anything. We still have 11 teams alive. 32 players per squad, so we're averaging around about 3 players per team.
Yeah.
We have lost a lot of players at this point for each squad still alive.
Yep, and it's the penultimate game. It's not 6 this evening, it is 5. It is the official circuit. So 5 a day. Well, keeps the doctor away sometimes with PUBG, but for some of these teams, it's not. Jogo Bonito is in the town. They've got to clear this one and then try and hold out towards that sort of south side for them. Hello Kitty, surprise, surprise, neighbouring Jogo Bonito. I think if they get wind the cats are back, then they might start pushing that way. So calm before the storm a little bit here.
I'm sorry, I'm just very impressed by the observer match.
Right.
Cinematic shots is just unreal. The pink BRDM in action though. Love to see it. Most terrifying pink thing you'll see today on the battlefield.
Oh no. Dunk! Somehow the P90 is not going to help you. He just gives up and Sonic slams a shot to finish it off though. BRDM, oh, it's tanking here. I actually kind of like the teamwork. The people have sort of agreed to take as much damage as they can. Have a look at the most kills here. Bitcoin for Jogo Bonito, 3 kills at the moment. Damage being done by Alpha Tier. The damage taken though by RSQ. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows on Jogo Bonito.
No, not really. I mean, for LCN right now, you are right. I think a lot of the lobby these days is just has that mental agreement. Even in my comp games, people have that mental agreement of just, if you see a BRDM, everyone's going to shoot it.
Yeah,
No,
you
no
have to.
questions asked.
But
Yeah.
it surprises me we don't see it all the time. Like we saw the early round, it's like, oh, Nemesis is there, just let it go. If we don't shoot it, it won't come our way. Like that, you've got to get rid of it. You've got to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's going to cause you problems later down the line.
You're right, man. I mean, I think that, again, the gentleman's agreement is there. It's alive. But if you have a chance to steal it, you will. And you'll no longer be part of that gentleman's agreement. You
mine.
avoid the contract on the spot.
Mine. Quick, find a repair kit. I apologise. I didn't mean to do as much damage as I need to. Zone is going to shift away from the water and shift away from the towns. We expect this as well. Baldini, we said they need a big game here. They are top of the hill, king of the castle, so to speak. But they are going to have to deny the approach, especially from the south. I think we'll see more third-party action. Jogger as I said, once they realise this is Hello Kitty, they will push this way. And well, there's an opening.
Yeah.
And quick kill confirm. And in the cars we go.
They've seen it on the kill feed now. Now they want more. Nod's not giving up anytime soon. Right-hand peek on the tree. Quick taps as well on the peak. Love to see it. I think Hello Kitty... the problem for them is now Baldini absolutely know where they are. They've heard the shots coming underneath. Nemesis, all one vehicle, one player lined up. Tilted Warriors. He's coming up from underneath. Doesn't take the shot. Will just shadow this team.
Going to try and shadow his way forward. Left rack. Going to be hopeful at the moment. Grenade comes out. Goes a bit short though. Hello Kitty gets that confirmation. Zubila is down. Not presented with many more options, but just to back away slightly. He has a nice smoke behind. That's going to give him a little bit of cover as he will now pop out the Doritos where he can. But not for much longer. Baldini want to get involved. You can see the jumping as they will just have to try and look in here. Any kill they can get will be beneficial for them, and they just got to try and do it as quick as they can.
I really felt those were going to squash Presenti there. Which wouldn't have been amazing. Again, Presenti, very well-known player. Renowned player. Looking to hold his own. Over the top, back over towards Hello Kitty. Doesn't quite go far enough. Hits the hillside and stops dead. A rough position to play in. Refreshes the smoke. Got to be done. Surely knows the Hello Kitty players are up against the blue. And now after that nade, he knows he's got to throw it further.
Yeah. It goes. You're playing a bit of a guessing game, so to speak. So the utility is more like battleships at the moment. As other teams also now getting involved. Presenti taking the opportunity, just get a med back on. Zone obviously shifting away slightly. So Steed edging, same as Melman, same as Steed. As they look to try and get as many kills as they can. 5 kills already. Phase number 6. And the zone, well, it's going to start encroaching.
Yeah, I mean, Nemesis, they're looking to clear. And I think that's fair enough from this position. We know that a lot of the most prominent locations on this map already taken up. So Stage just taking these shots. He's been on fire with the Mini 14 so far this match. He's been looking really good. 5 kills. It's not crazy numbers, but I think for Nemesis, considering they started on the far north side of the map, Mark, this is really good stuff from them. Jogo Benito, they do take 1 knock. They are trying to assess the situation over towards Baldini. They do find an initial knock, and they're just sending it.
What do you expect? It's Jogo Benito. W key down. They've got the knock. They can try and claim the high ground. Nade has been cooked. It gets posted to perfection. He has to run and gets away with it. Baduni under pressure. Flash will come in. Has to try and hold the door. He jumps out, steps out. But the Famous, though, shorter mag packs the bigger punch.
There is shots coming from the sidelines, though, as Jogo Benito take a little bit more damage. Good sidestep on the grenade there. Gets himself out of harm's way. Will grab a little bit more kit to work with off his dead teammate. And then loop back downstairs. What a cheeky maneuver this is. Just back up, sees if he can catch someone on the approach.
See if he can catch on the approach. He's going for the right lane. The flash comes through. He goes for the automatic spray. And 2 out of 2. Perfection with the flash. And Baldini can't hold on to the castle anymore.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Nemesis, in the meantime, do find themselves 2 more kills. Still 4 players alive right now. And they are continuing to hold the northern front at the moment. They've held it since the beginning of the game and claiming space on it now. BRDM is up and kicking, shooting off the toenails of the opponents. Trying to get this vehicle back up into position.
I'll be back into position, but This is a team that would be eager to try and take that away from them. I like that they've got the shield. I like they've sort of found themselves some safety, but without a knock, it's not going to help too much. Diffix, though, climbing the table, especially on the kills, though. The GG being the same. 4 apiece for them. Nemesis, though, at this point, especially in the game, especially in the evening, they're looking to punch the ticket to the next stage.
And they are just sending it, like you're saying, over towards Baldini. He's on the tree side. Jump out. They are looking around, spraying through the smoke. They know he's here. And there is tags going through. I think he's healing up.
Hear him.
On your teammate?
Yeah, I was second guessing that. That might be impactful. They are sharing the vehicle. They both get in the vehicle. They both get out the vehicle. They both get in the vehicle. And he does find the better of the Society does. They'll be laughing their way forward this one. The smoke is now going. He hasn't got anywhere to survive. And he can't get the finish, though. And the dance will fall. And we go straight through into a top 4. Jogo Benito find themselves with 11 kills. And an opportunity to steal the BRDM for some safety in late game.
I mean, Team Nemesis didn't want to go for it, but hey, Jogo Benito, they'll send it, but they themselves have plenty of eliminations on the match here mark, which is all that Jogo Benito ever won in these games.
Well, all we want now is a quicker ending, but we've got 2 solos either side of the map, and one is playing Sneaky Squirrel in the bush.
Classic. A classic. I mean, a lot of people do just take pot shots over towards those bushes anyway, so there are quite a few of them here. Maybe it's a little bit counterintuitive to start shooting all of them. Good shots over towards TLW, the player that's been shadowing for so long, but they get themselves a 3rd place off the back of it, so you can't say it was that bad.
Now they're going, where is the player? Is he just sitting in the BRDM? Because that's where I'd go. I'd be like, he's there.
They found him.
He goes out. Denied. 10 kills, 20-point game. But Jogo Benito, they're going to steal the shining lights when it comes down to the kills. But eventually, my oh my, Team Nemesis bagged themselves a victory for game number 5.
I mean, they found the Jogo Benito again. I'm just looking at the leaderboard right now. They still have single-digit placement points. Yeah, 3rd place. What is happening?
It's that 2 halves of PUBG, right? You've got the placement half and finding yourself in the late game, breaking it down and getting some level of points from 8th and above. And then there's the other half where you need to get kills. And good teams get a balance of both. Jogo Benito just have forgot to read the second half of the book, and they've just gone, let's just kill everybody and find ourselves through to the next stage.
It works. I mean, honestly, I love the confidence. I think confidence is very hard to teach, right? It's very hard to teach. You gotta teach confidence. So if you've got it, and then you can add a little bit more macro into that, you've got a really good star team. I think mechanics is always the thing you need to hit the nail on the head first. Then macro you can figure out later on. So Jogo Benito quickly becoming one of my favorite teams here at the PC Scrims.
Well, I get the memes, I get the love, I get the laughter, but it's Team Nemesis back at game number 5. Let's go to a quick break. When we come back, though, back 4. Game number 5's up. It's our final game. Here we go. It's the final game. It's the final opportunity. Final hope for some of these teams, though, Blank, because we just looked at the leaderboard and wow, oh wow, they're close. But some people are below that line.
Very much below that line. I mean, it's not looking good right now. Sakura Zenson dropped down despite having that great game on Miramar. You got LF4, X Howl still on 23 points. Project Need It's on 21. The cutoff right now is at 26, so it's not out of this world. I mean, a lot of these teams from, like, you know, say 9th downwards could have a 0-point game, and some teams could jump up. So it's all to play for. It's still all to play for.
All to play for. That's what we want. That's what we want to hear. Flight path, though, obviously, I mentioned before, is coming from west up towards a northeast. It does slim down the good old trusty Erangel. I wouldn't be too surprised with, like, teams being able to get those kind of normal drops, and I was about to say, I wouldn't be too surprised for Jogger Benito to get aggressive, and they found another victim that's come into the lobby. So yet again, School Flats is going to be an interesting hot drop.
Yeah, I mean, they're straight in it, honestly. I mean, they've got no fear. They've got no fear in this team. It's been absolutely removed from the DNA, which is great to see. Works out well for them. Immediately getting looted up. There's a pistol on side, which is not great versus the AKM. So we'll see how this does pan out, because Nod has been on some fire today. Will immediately find the first with the help of Simon. And that is Con taking one knock to start things off. Immediately spots another player. Gets a little tag on. He's just going to push it. Who does this?
He second guessed there. It's like, hold on. He hasn't got any good gear. I'm going to push until I can see no more. Finds another one, though. Oh, the M16 is not the best gun in the world. He's got 15 shots left. One behind, one in front. And Juju just playing for his life. Oh, wow.
Con's down. Immediate.
And out
the
lobby. That's free.
Out the lobby.
Free. Out the lobby. Out the tournament. They finish up on 3 points.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh. That's a lot worse than I thought things had gone for that team. For Jogger Benito, though, yeah, they're making it. They're making it. Currently on 50 points on the overalls, sat 4 points behind Team Nemesis, who currently have sat first place in day 2 and second place in day 1. So potentially ruining a little bit of the streak here from day 2, maybe kicking them off first place again, but we'll wait and see. So far today, I think Team Nemesis has been playing fantastically well from some very tough positions on the map as well. We get hard eastern shift, tons of watermark.
Oh, it screams that mill to power. Zone shift going back down their way. Now, for some of these teams, I worry, right? Like, we go one side leaderboard, the Jogger Benitos, etc. They're good. Even a bad game here, they're good. Cutoff current at the moment is sitting around like 26, 25, I remember right. Obviously, that will increase slightly after this game, but this is the final game. Then we look at some of the teams here, and then we look at some of them which are storing that red line. Now, for me, you're sending it towards centralized zone. Yes, you might be looking for the placement, but this is your last opportunity to get any points on the board. And if you don't get the feed, if you don't get the teams playing into you, and you are a team that's obviously, we can talk about sort of that wild card. If you are a team which might be on that sort of cutoff point, they are that team on that cutoff point at 26 points. I was close. If they go centralized zone now, Blank, and they don't get teams feeding them, they don't get those opportunities for points, they could find themselves slipping into the red.
Nice shot from behind. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I think you have to send it, especially for a team like Project Nedex. You have limited points. You're still a little bit behind the cutoff. Like you said, that will increase. They'll profit off this game, and that will move a little bit. Project Nedex, you can't just send for the deadwoods, right? You can't send for those apartments down there and just play out a slow game, because you have to hunt teams. I think this is a very tough position on the map to hunt teams, right? I mean, Lumberyard cuts off a lot of that availability at trying to find players overall. I think this is going to be tough for some squads, and I think this is more of a gamble than anything, Mark, where you just have to give it your all, find some teams. If you go out in the process, it wasn't meant to be, but if you find those kills where you can, that might be the thing you need to get through into that qualification spot. But for Jogger Benito, they're not a care in the world. Not a care in the world.
Yeah,
sharing
definitely
the same brain cell.
And look who's fighting again. Some say they have 9 lives. I tell you, they got 5 opportunities, and this is the last one for them now. Hello Kitty, yet again having a stab at Jogger Benito. The animation could have jumped up, maybe got some shots though, but they stay cool, calm and collective until he exposed himself in the open. One step too far, and the cat scratches back.
Yeah, I mean, that is a swipe and a half. And I mean, to be honest with you, that does come from the fact that Jogo Bonito just seems to think that they're the only team that can be unexpected on the map. They did make a wide wrap out. It's very split right now for the time being, getting some scouting done. Nod's waiting behind, waiting for some vehicles to come pick and collect him from school, that is, and get him on his bike towards a little bit more of a grown-up job in the terms of killing these other opponents inside the lobby. But I think overall, I don't think we're watching Project Needus in this game, which is kind of sad. I just want to see how that panned out. So we'll have to wait and see after this match has concluded for all our teams.
What group are they in? They are in Group F, are they? No, it must be B. Project Needix. No, they're not B. Are they C? It is C. So they're currently in their group, sitting 5th with 21 points. Look, it's not far. Secure Ascension just ahead of them with 24 to 26, 21. They're all one good game. It just worries me, right? There is a large amount of skill that comes down to PUBG, and a lot of these players have the skill that we might see with Brat, as he will show us a bolty shot onto the car. He swaps back to the org. Swap back to the org. Gets a knock for one. Looking for the second now. Doesn't go for the reload. And he clicks dry. He has to dance. He goes down to 10 HP and he survives. And he gets a knock. What a play, though. You're lucky for not for him. There's a better player. But what a play. He clicks dry and he gets 2.
I mean, fair play to him. What a nice couple of shots there. Gets the bolty treatment as punishment for the troubles that he's caused the team on the roadside. Cheeky weapon swap reloads as well in the midst of all that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
But to my original waffle, like, it's the last game. And, like, go back to Project Needix. That is a stacked team. I give them massive kudos. They have been scrimming really, really hard. And a team I would be expecting to go through. I can be honest with that, right? But they've now left it down to the last game. And it's not just down to skill here. There's so much luck that comes with the potentially catching the zones, not pathing the same time as the team, getting the drops. Like, there's lots of variables that Project Needix now need to manage to try and find themselves getting above that final game.
Yeah, I think the way I see it, though, right now, the last thing I'll say about Project Needx is that the good thing for this squad is that they aren't playing against Team Nemesis. They're not playing against Hive. They're not playing against Jogo Bonito. They're not playing against Mythov in this final match.
Who is their final match? Match 5 is... Did I send it to you?
Yeah, I think it's like E and F, I believe.
Yeah. Match number 5. We've got A versus F, B versus
E and
C.
So they are against Mythov. Sorry.
They're against a big team. I apologise. Project Needix have got the Mythov. So there's a couple of big hitters in that lobby. The Mythov and Go Next Esports are doing well. But I'd also argue to say, I would agree with you. Mythov is a big hitter for them. And obviously with Project Needix, there's only a couple of teams that are up there. And Hive is the one conquering their group.
Yeah. So I take back everything I said, lads.
No, it's a relevant point. You've nailed it on the heads. They've got a tough lobby, but it's not like they are against a nemesis here. Our point average in our group here, we've got more teams farming, mainly because of Jogo Bonito and Nemesis in our group with Skittles, and I think this would be a worse group for them. So I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, so there's the opportunity for them. How was that not a knock there? That was directly in front of his face guard. Unfortunately, doesn't go down. So we'll be looking for some shots. I mean, takes a quick one off towards the side.
Reposition. Also worries for some of these teams that are in this lobby. If they need the points, and we see these big hitters starting to fight each other and they go out early because they're like, hey, we're qualified, doesn't really matter. Let's have an early evening.
It happens. It happens.
A lot. It does happen a lot. Or they start playing aggressive against other teams and they get the better of all these other teams despite going, it's our last game, we don't really care. It's dangerous, no matter which way you look at it.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is because if Team Nemesis bows out right now, which they absolutely could do, and it would have no impact on the leaderboards. Same for Jogo Bonito. He's kind of an annoying squad for a lot of these other things because they do bow out early after getting a couple of kills on the lobby, stealing those eliminations away from other teams. You have this situation where the tide rises, and so do all the ships underneath. So the average cutoff point is going to be much, much higher. That's what I really do hope all these teams give it their all the way to the end. at least for bragging rights, and also to give some other teams chances.
Does mean that final game will be a little bit more tighter. Zone does shift back. We have lots of water. We still have a little bit more land than water, but we are going to see a shift away. And it's quite a difficult zone, actually, because, yes, we might get another random shift, but it does allow it to kind of play into that prison. I think a lot of teams might look at this zone and go, like, mill to power, there's more land in here, so let's reposition. We do get to see the amazing phase guys, or Gustav and Fex, though, as they do rotate their way in. They aren't just above that sort of milter. They are taking those compounds. They are looking at this zone as expecting it now to play towards that south side. But there is limited spots now. Don't expect anyone to play the waterfront. Expect everyone to come into this kind of high ground, in and around prison, up towards Lumberyard.
Yeah, I mean, those apartments where you said the phase guys were heading over towards, that's just really good spot. I really like that spot overall. I think over here you get some great sight lines looking up towards the hill on Lumberyard. You can see down here, and has some really good opportunity to shift way over towards Milter Power or Mini Milter if needs be. That's just a really nice position to be in. I think Lumberyard overall is probably one of the best positions in terms of scouting, because you can hear players going past you.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing, is audio queue on top of Lumberyard is just, it's best in slot.
Oh, let's wait and see. Shots now will whistle by. Fighting for life, will be fighting for their life for a little bit longer. They don't get the opportunity, but they hold the compound, and how much is that going to play into the loving arms of them later, I think is going to be key. Lots of other teams that reposition. We do see, obviously, Bratzo get those recalls back as they will send it towards Milter Power, maybe hoping, praying that no one's here. We know that is the case, and they will find some safety.
I like this spot as well, honestly, on the coastal side, on the cliff edge. It's not bad at all to play around with. It has some good opportunity to move in towards the buildings later on. Get the E pickup. Immediately send over towards Milter Power, play inside of the actual facility. A lot of fun position to play here. Get a lot of teams lining up against the fences when you get towards these late games as well, which is always awkward. But wait and see. A little bit of a gift package as well. Heading on over this way.
No.
Yes.
Get out of this stream, Blank.
Yes.
I blame you. Doesn't work the same on PC, mate. Doesn't work the same. They have to wait till late game, but it is a gift. And PUBG keep giving.
Hey man, it's good inside of Milter Power. I'm telling you, when you're up against those massive bits of concrete you can peek over the top, you'll be decent. You hold that.
Yeah, we're going to see if they can hold it. They've got to get their hands on it first, though. Fight for life with Mini Milter. Obviously, construction workers, aka the X-Phase guys, are there. They've gone for a 2-2 split. Again, they've kind of guaranteed that rolling of a die, so to speak, towards that south side. Everyone else got to rotate. We are seeing that fight kind of up by that prison. We need so. They're pushing towards No Slack. No Slack are getting the emergency pickup. The emergency pickup is a little bit too far away, so that is a dangerous. The rest of them now starting to turn, heading their way towards it. The zone is going to shift, and they're going to have an opportunity. It does come back this way. Maybe they get off the emergency pickup. Maybe they get the opportunity now to try and fight.
I mean, this is awkward. You're taking shots from skills at the same time. As soon as they get picked up, Jogo Benito in position as well. For it. Getting some nice shots over towards them. Can't pick up any of them. Runs out of bullets midway through, and they're gone. I mean, this is going to be tough. They instantly pop out straight away to drop back down again. I mean, crates are in play over towards that eastern side. It's not always the nicest position to go for, but if you're a team that doesn't really have anywhere else to go, you can pick that one up. The only thing is, for Team Nemesis, they're kind of bowing out in this game, playing Lipovka. I really don't like Lipovka on this circle, Mark, honestly. Yeah. You have no control of what's going on around you.
No, and they expected to shift away as well straight after. Shots will come in. Primal down to their final body now. To try and stay alive, they have to try and keep their heads down, because Primal is currently in 34th place. If they bow out now, they bow out of this SCRIM. Shots will come through. Confirmation done. And Vex, the Space Marine legend, looking to get another point on the board.
Doing some good stuff right now, construction workers. And they will lose one of the players there, sadly. Still at 4 kills. It was mental.
Back on the fighting again. Here comes an 8. Yeah, VOD, unfortunately, has gone for them. They can't quite see him. They're taking a few jumps. Ruku, he's just there. He's just been found. So he's down and flushed out pretty quickly. And, yeah. Dog,
Yeah.
I won't repeat the rest of it, is going to be just spraying a couple of shots into the smoke and praying.
The bid-A buster gets flushed away. Love that. Love that. Zach Linnea, good shots from him from the high ground. I do think that construction workers kind of bit off a little bit more than they could chew there. I think they were all right hanging down towards the apartments. Potentially a case of needing.
Oh my God, Vex!
Great side swipe through the smoke there.
Hey, Gustav launches the nade as well. That's dug into a bit of safety. Doesn't quite get that final body scrap. That does. It is good, though. Molly from the other side. Primal knows they need points, and they haven't got bodies to do it. So launching every desperate attempt to try and get another point.
Vex is down. Want to pick him back up again. Lights are in play.
It's another point.
Make work. Nice. Primal will find that. You're right. They desperately need those points. But in the meantime, I don't think the construction workers mind too much about that as long as Vex can crawl back down towards him. I do like that angle from Melman, though. You do have this slight spot where you can see over towards crates. And any player playing on the eastern side. What a shift, though. Yeah. Back over towards the northwest. And that keeps prison in. Oh, I hate this.
Well, I think a lot of teams we said before would have expected that sort of southeast towards Milton Power because we see so many zones. Yeah. But because it held onto so much of the water, it had no option. It couldn't go down. So it has to now play out towards the northwest. Now we see that shift and they've got to get going here. The problem is, though, Primal is now on the outside. He has to go fight his way through Gustav. Gustav is the GOAT. It's going to be a difficult head-to-head. And let alone they're both not in zone, they're going to be weighted in open arms for either a team like Jar or potentially a ghetto gang that might try and get some kills.
Let's see what Gustav can do. So look downwards. I mean, it has a vehicle to work with here. Picked up as much kit as possible. You can see his vest is basically hanging off him by a thread, and helmet isn't worth too much either. Cracked right down the center. But teams that are doing fairly well, there's only a couple of them who are already in towards that position. VH making a getaway maneuver from that north side now, but you already have Wild Division holding them out.
Just going to hold them out. They've got to juggle that kind of rotation and kills. As they now start to rotate their way in for Wild Division team looking to try and get some kills. I'm interested in intrigue, especially the construction workers. They're on that kind of, I think, the cutoff point. They're pushing towards the early 40s. Is it going to be enough? Depends on the rest of these teams and what they do in the final game. Ghetto Gang, though, they go down. They run into Creef, and that causes them huge amounts of problems. And Wild Division, they don't go far enough. And VH there, there's one. There's two, though, as they will now try and close things down.
That's a really good setup towards the beach side from VH, honestly. The instant backstab there. You don't expect that player playing so far over towards that south side. So when you roll up, you see one player in front of you. Instantly, your attention is massively distracted. So it's a great spot to play, especially when stragglers are coming your way, which they most likely will in this type of scenario. Nemesis start to move out from Lipovka. Bit of a more safety game from them. Yeah, and again, this is what you talked about earlier, right? They have that luxury of not having to go for kills. So although Lipovka doesn't really open yourself up for too many engagements, it does give them a fairly decent run in towards this late game.
Just going to give him a good run in. Gustav not getting the best run in as he tries to push forward and he's getting problems from behind. So he goes back to the safety of the Dorito. He's very much fully aware there's a player sitting there. So he's heard the gunshots. You know, he took the final player from Primal. Obviously, we've got the kill feed, so he's able to read that as well. So he's going to try and hold out. Phase number 4. And we are about to transition to phase 5. And with construction workers going out, I think they're going to be on the line. I think they'll be in and about. My gut tells me they'd be just over.
All right. We'll trust your gut. We'll trust your gut on this one.
I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. Jinx, Caster Cursed enabled.
Hey! Yeah, well, I mean, some of these other teams are going to have to stomach this circle going forward because we see that Hello Kitty's going to have to move over towards that north side. Team Nemesis is still going strong. Mini 14 in hand has stayed. He has been gorgeous on the DMR today, just hitting some shots left, right, and center. Feeling it as well. I mean, bodes well for the future of this squad. You get a nice little flyby straight through to where VH is currently playing. I mean, they are suffering though over towards the shack.
I can't see it. I can't see a way out from here. I just generally can't. Nemesis working their way down. Teams coming on the other side. They have to really stop this push here. Unfortunately, fight for life. They're down. Yeah, they got no other option. They've got knocked. They can't now get their res back on. They're going to try and stick it. They've moved the car out. That's not going to draw this team in. They know there's only one other body in there potentially. They've left someone behind. Here comes a double blue zone. That's a perfect stack up. You can out med one. You can't out med two. Melman finds that re-knock, and that'll be confirmation done.
And a nice nail to the top as well. I mean, that is clean play. I mean, Team Nemesis, they did just look a cut above, right? Yeah. Honestly. Some of these plays you might be able to make from VH where they're swinging out wide there, that might have worked, but versus a team like Team Nemesis just hitting all those shots as well, it's really big. Yeah, they lose their frontliner, but it doesn't really matter. They should be able to pick him back up again. Jürgen might be a little bit of an issue for them, but they need to get this done quickly. And with VH still having a player down there, as well as one over towards the north side, should buy them plenty of time.
See if we can buy some time at the moment. Back on the other side of things, the other side of the zone. It's Chaos, it's in the open field, and then Skittles looking to try and make the push. No Stack not helping those. They do get one of the kills on the board. Kobe applying the level of pressure, knowing they've got dangerous neighbours, but they're happy to keep them at arm's bay at the moment.
Shots through. I mean, honestly, this is such a glut of players on side. RSQ is not able to find anything off the back of that one. Quick switch up there from Mason Mihara, but the nade will put an end to Yoga Benito. And again, it's always an explosive end there for this team. I do love what they've done today. It has been amazing. They're up towards the top side of the lobby, and they go out just the way they started things.
Let's see if they can be explosive in the next round, because I think they have punched their ticket to get on that plane, which will be on Friday. Rest of the teams, though, looking to try and work around. Nemesis taking their time as they will sweep the southeast corner. Grief holding the compound. And again, it's about how many kills can they sort of capitalize up here. It's the likes. We look at Wild Division. Amen has obviously come back on the recall. How much has he really got? And Hello Kitty find themselves an opportunity only because Joko Benito have already fallen.
Yeah, the arch nemesis is not in the lobby. We're not talking about Team Nemesis at all. Team Nemesis, though, like you were saying, they are clearing out that eastern side right now. I think it's Kref there over towards the center of things. They have themselves a fantastic compound to work with. That is a very hard compound to breach as well, and you sort of have to wait for a lot of these other squads to go down. Chewy, though, picks himself up with P90 and the level 3 refresh. It's good to see.
Got a question though with Kreef. They got like they're not in the placement points in the context of like playing to the next round. Like they're in the compounds. How many points are they going to get out of here? We've got to get some placement points. We know that we've got 6 teams, but is it going to be enough? They need high amounts of kills, and as the time keeps ticking, it's going to be a stamp for them and not getting on that plane.
Ooh, nasty roll up there coming through from Team Nemesis. A good couple of shots coming through from Hello Kitty. Wake up paralyzed. Leaves Nemesis looking much the same there. Shaking in fear at the moment. Stuck, standing still up against the kiddies in front, but it's a great nade from So Said. We'll take down Zero Swag on me. So they basically sliding into position. Oh man, this is tough.
Oh wow. Actually got the peak on him as well. GG's, there's 1, there's 2, they're done. Team Nemesis, they are definitely going their way through. Hello Kitty will now hold top 4. Crefto lead the safety of their compound now, eager to try and catch these kills where they can. It's a 4 versus 4 versus 3 versus 1. Chewy though, don't count him out. He's got a P90. He's trying to find himself some safety. He's climbing as quick as he can to try and get some more kills though as he drives forward towards Team Kitty.
I mean, for Hello Kitty, they've got a great position to play with here. I mean, they've got the rocks, they've got the cover, they can work with this all the while through. Creeper's having to move out from that northeast side. They know they need to take more pressure across the map. They set themselves up with a lineup here. But are they going to get caught out by Hello Kitty on this southwest side here, Mark?
Questionable.
Oh, they find one.
It's all about angles now. They've got 5 kills. They've got 5 kills. They need a win. They need a conversion. They've got the numbers. But I like it. They spread out. They've made an opportunity, especially in this sort of south side. They're still holding the compound. And that compound is bagging the kills here. No slack. There is no slack for movement for them. The peak comes over the top. Hello Kitty will fall down. The one more player will hold up. And this is the key. MK in hand. Give this man a buff because he's punching as many kills as he can.
2 shots there, drops the back tire out, try and give himself an angle through the window. Love to see it. There is some nasty shots through the smoke as well. Finds a big one over towards Wake Up Paralyze. And now Creef continues to move through, and you're right. They left an anchor over towards that compound, so no one can pick it up off the back of them. Lovely stuff. A nade over the top. Bounces nastily over the rocks, and it's instant deletion over towards player.
What a last game for them. If they can finish off, they're getting the kills. This is what I was worried about. This is the difference between qualifying and not qualifying. No slack there, and they bagged the final blow, and that might be the last ticket punch for them to go through. It was critical. It was key, but Creef delivered the final kill. Good play from them. 21 points. That should put them above that green line.
Yeah, it's a big moment there for that team as well. And honestly, what I loved about that is that they're in such a precarious position there on the leaderboard and in the game towards the beginning of it. If you get towards that point, a lot of teams would freeze up. Yeah. They stay inside the compound. Instead, they immediately left an anchor behind and they pushed out and cleared. And I think that's what we were talking about at the start. Is sometimes you just got to gamble. You got to gamble on getting all those kills, and they went for it, and that should push them above. It's great to see. It's great to see teams like that just go out on a limb at the end of the game.
That was definitely going out on a limb, I can tell you that. The good thing is the leaderboards also just updated, so we can go out on a limb as well and tell the boys and girls at home what the stats and facts mean when it comes down to it. No surprise, though. Team Nemesis will score their ticket, though. 61 points in total. Yes, it was a slow start, especially in that first game. I felt they were bullied. I was worried at that point, though, Xander, because I felt like everyone knew that they were a big team and they were taking the opportunity, but it wasn't going to be. They will find themselves through. Hive go through. Jock Benito, X-How, Aurora Gaming, PGG, the Mythov, all through. In a TM, they find their way back. Construction Workers, aka the Phase Guys, they find themselves through. But as we get close, there's one name which I'm looking for, and there's one name that is not above that 16 point, and that, unfortunately, is going to be Project Need. It's double checking. Yeah, they're not there. That's sad for us. They won't be making it through to Friday.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, they ended up with 26 points, which was the cutoff at the start of this game. But quite honestly, there is a really big step up from a lot of our squads towards the top side of this lobby. Now, you can see here, the cutoff actually ended up being 33 points. That's a 9-point profit on the cutoff from the last game, which is a lot of teams jumping up and above. So, I mean, really well played. I mean, those last dire moments, players really brought up everything they had. So, very fantastic stuff.
It's good. We have to say goodbye to some big names, though. Viz, no tags. These are some huge names that are going to be, unfortunately, saying good night. Look, it is the first set of scrims. We obviously have to thank PUBG Esports putting these on. This is the first circuit. There are more to go. There are more opportunities. That's not them dead and out. They're going to be able to sign themselves back up, though, for week number 2 and work their way through. They just need to get beyond the next point. What is the next point, though? Well, it's going to be on Friday. They normally be on Saturdays, but this week there's on Friday because PUBG does have a race, though, coming on Saturday and Sunday, which will be a bit more of a fun event, which will be there. So that one has been shifted forward to Friday. It's going to be 5 games, 5 opportunities, but it is all key and critical, though, as we looked for these teams to qualify through for that PEC spring. Blake, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. I hope to see you again. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Won't leak anything, but I'm sure we'll be back. And there's a reason why both of us are sitting here at the moment, mate. But it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for stepping in today.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much yourself as well. It's been lovely being on the Mark Power Show.
Being on the Mark Power Show. Well, he did bring the DBS action. I will thank the production team, PUBG and PUBG Esports, for setting things up and, more importantly, allowed us to get in the lobby. But that is it from us. If you're on Twitch, though, hold on. I've not got delay. I will go raid some on YouTube. Kick all the rest of you. We love you. Peace. We'll see you, though, on Friday on the main channel. That's it from us.